Terrifying was the word used by Croatia coach Zlatko Dalic, not to describe opposite number Čiče's dance moves or even Roy Keane's subsequent rant, but the prospect of facing the 5-time world champions. The Samba Stars were smouldering in their first half demolition of South Korea in the round of 16, but a stubborn, streetwise Croatia team represents a significant step up in class of opponent, and you have to go back an incredible 20 years for the last time Brazil beat a European side in a World Cup knockout match. This will be far from a formality. The Brazilian players in their canary yellow shirts are gathered in a pre-match huddle as Croatia wait to get us underway. The start of the quarter-finals were marked by a Robbie Williams concert last night. Now it's up to Neymar, Modric, Perisic and Vinicius Junior to say, let us entertain you. We are underway on TalkSport. Croatia in their red and white check jerseys, white shorts and white socks, shooting from left to right in the opening 45 minutes. Brazil attacking the goal away to our left. They have the ball deep inside their own half. I'll run you through the two lineups for Croatia. Levakovic is the goalkeeper, Juranovic, Lovren, Guardiol and Sosa in the back four. Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic make up midfield, with Pasalic, Kramaric and Perisic in attack. Brazil unchanged from that South Korea game. Alisson the goalkeeper, Militao, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Danilo in the back four. Casemiro and Paquetá in midfield with Rafinha, Neymar, Vinicius Junior and Richarlison. A pretty formidable looking front four, Dean Ashton.
Make that from 5. Danilo has gone into midfield straight away alongside Casemiro when they've got the ball, and it is a 5-man forward line. They are going to really take on this Croatian side. Despite their talents, I think that's brave to allow the midfield three that Croatia have as much space as they're going to be able to have against Danilo and Casemiro.
Well, this is the third World Cup meeting between the two. Brazil have won both of the previous two matches. They are having to defend here as Croatia look to come forward down the left-hand side, but fairly quickly the Brazilians back in possession, back inside their own penalty area with the experienced Alisson, more than 150 appearances for Liverpool, seeing off competition from his Manchester City rival Ederson for that number 1 jersey for Brazil. Here is Danilo, now back doing his defensive duties, and again plays the ball back into the 6-yard box, and the black-shirted Alisson. Don't forget, this is the first of 4 quarter-finals, all live on TalkSport over the course of the next couple of days. The Netherlands against Argentina will be following us as soon as we have a conclusion, and we could go long into the night here because Croatia have needed extra time in 7 of their last 8 World Cup knockout matches. They've got a free kick after Kovacic was brought down.
Well, that was just a little glimpse. Kovacic so good at taking players on, just burst through that midfield.
Here's Modric with the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Casemiro, who had conceded the foul. He's back now inside the Croatian half, and the first touch for Levakovic, their goalkeeper, the penalty shootout hero against Japan in the last round. He goes long upfield, it's headed away by Marquinhos, but good start this from Croatia, seeing plenty of possession early on, and they're coming forward now with Dejan Lovren deep inside the Brazilian half away to our right. A sea of yellow jerseys and Brazilian flags behind that goal that Croatia are attacking. Luka Modric has been penalised for a high foot on Richarlison, so a free kick for Brazil, but Croatia have passed it around nicely, Dean Ashton, these first 4 minutes.
Oh, they're good players, and they shouldn't fear Brazil. I mean, they've former World Cup finalists and did extremely well in the Nations League against tough opponents. This is a very good side, Croatia. Always underestimated.
They've reached the semi-finals of that Nations League competition. It is Vinicius Junior, though, down the left-hand side. A big roar goes up around the Education City Stadium as he moves into the penalty area and lays it back to the edge of the box, and Danilo, Casemiro just ensuring that Brazil keep the ball, but Croatia well organised, back in number, and Brazil have gone all the way back into their own half, and Alisson comes out and passes it forward to Marquinhos. Dink out to his left-hand side again. Vinicius Junior with room to bring the ball down. His first cross is blocked on the edge of the area. He might get another go here, and he curls one into the arms of the goalkeeper. It was ambitious, but it's the first shot on target of the game.
Well, if you stand off him, he will have a go. And they just allowed him after it was blocked initially by Pasalic. They then stood off him and he looked for that far corner. Livakovic was steady-handed and just caught it easily. But what they'll do, Brazil, as Paquetá just breaks in, what they'll do, Brazil, is they will look to switch the ball really, really quickly into Vinicius Junior or into Rafinha. So Paquetá or Neymar, they will dart in between the fullback and the centre-back to draw in the fullback, and then they'll hit the diagonal to one of the wingers. It's very, very difficult to stop.
Just surveying the scene around this Education City Stadium, three-tiered bowl. Certainly there are many more Brazilian shirts on show than there are Croatian ones, but the Croatian supporters did turn up at the team hotel this morning, their beachfront resort, unfurled that flag that Hugh Wozencroft alluded to before kick-off, and in big bold letters in the stand wrote, "The world must listen." And if they could pull off an upset here, the world would certainly be sitting up and taking notice. As Brazil look to turn defence into attack down their right-hand side, Richarlison comes over, but Croatia have it back with Modric, and he slips as he looked to play the ball into the area, and Danilo races but can just allow it to trickle out of play for a throw under no real pressure.
No, but it's good to see that Croatia are not just going to sit in deep and make it difficult. I think they've got more confidence than that in their own ability, and they've opened themselves up already, because you have to attack this Brazilian defence. Yes, it's, you know, got plenty of star-studded names. You've got to test it, and you've got to get up the pitch to do so.
They are seeing a lot of the ball inside Brazilian territory in the opening 7 minutes here on TalkSport. Well, World Cup football returns after a couple of days off. Our wall-to-wall coverage from Doha continues and will only build momentum as we head towards that final, a final that we hope England will grace a week on Sunday. England in action against France. You can hear that game live here on TalkSport tomorrow night. What an occasion that will be. Here's Dejan Lovren wearing bright orange boots. The former Liverpool defender plays the ball into the centre of the Croatian half, where it's picked up by the impressive Joško Guardiol, wearing that protective face mask after colliding with his own teammate playing for RB Leipzig. Cross into the Brazilian area, and that needed to be headed away by Militao. He took a whack in the back for his troubles, and the Premier League referee Michael Oliver on duty tonight, wearing a purple officiating shirt, immediately signals for a free kick. It was Perisic, just a bit too strong-armed with his tactics, Dean.
Yeah, but he's a threat, isn't he? From that left-hand side, he'll come in. He's already scored a wonderful goal in this competition. When he drifts in there, he's a great header of the ball. He's got a good leap. He was just a little bit late in tracking the flight of that cross, and it allowed Militao just to head it away. But interesting to see, and I talked about it before, in terms of defensively, Brazil, they will allow you to have the ball. They'll sit then into a 4-4-2 formation and be more defensively resolute than I think I've probably ever seen them.
Real party atmosphere behind Alisson's goal, as Neymar picks up the ball on the halfway line down the left wing, knocks it a few yards forward to Vinicius Junior, but he's been dispossessed, and as the Brazilian fans and some of the players are asking Michael Oliver for a free kick, Croatia continue, and then it's given away cheaply by Modric of all people, and that did look like a foul on Rafinha. He goes down on the edge of the centre circle, and Brazil do get their free kick this time.
That was loose from Modric. I'm so used to him being unbelievably good with that outside of the right foot. Well, that was a strain. He was a little bit lucky, actually, that his teammate bailed him out.
Here's Kovacic, has won it back well for Croatia. Modric with the long flowing hair out to the left-hand side, and Perisic, who scored a wonderful header to equalise against Japan in the last round. He's put a deep cross into the Brazilian box, but it's too high for Pasalic, who was the only Croatian player anywhere near it. Here's Vinicius Junior now, back on the edge of his own penalty box away to our right. 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport live from Doha as the quarter-finals get underway. It's been a much cooler day today as well. We even had a bit of rain early this afternoon, much to Dean Ashton's frustration. Couldn't top up the tan.
Become winning in that stakes, as we know. Crook, don't be jealous.
Nigel Adley might have a say in that. Vinicius Junior plays it down the left touchline to Neymar. He might get an opportunity to get a shot away here. Delayed it, and then as he tried to thread through the pass to Rafinha, it was intercepted, but only half away by Croatia. Here's Rafinha again into the box. He's being fronted up by Modric, and I think he just took the ball out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Croatia. Just allowing Vinicius Junior on this left-hand side a lot of time on the ball, a lot of room to cut in on his right foot. Is that a sensible move?
Well, I mean, they're allowing Brazil the space on the flanks. They don't want to give them any space in the middle. They're really blocking up congested middle of the park. It allows Vinicius Junior then space for them to get it out to him, and then he runs. Lovely little combination with Neymar. Great pass into Vinicius, and I actually then thought it was really poor. It was a simple pass to Rafinha, who would have been in on the right hand side, and he just got it all wrong into the path of Guardiola.
It's been a real breakout tournament this for Rafinha. Was little known really in terms of the Brazilian national team. As recently as a year ago when he made his debut, he's made a real impact on this 2022 World Cup. So too Richarlison. Here's Neymar, who is probably 2 or 3 yards offside there as the ball was launched long upfield. And it's a free kick for Croatia with 11 minutes gone. It remains 0-0. Brazil have had their last 7 World Cup quarter-finals decided by the odd goal. Given that and Croatia's defensive rearguard action, I think we could be in for another nail-biting evening. Modric tries to flick the ball forward, but it will be headed down deep inside his own half by the veteran Thiago Silva. He came up with an assist in that victory against South Korea, meaning he is the oldest player to claim a goal involvement in a World Cup since the great Roger Milla. Italia 90, Thiago Silva. Another of the numerous old-timers that are gracing this competition. Some with more impact than others, it has to be said. Croatia a throw just inside the Brazilian half on this near right touchline as we look. Chiche, the Brazilian coach, silver-haired, all in black, is out on the edge of his technical area. So too to his left, Zlatko Dalic. Dalic has been in charge since 2017, is now having to perform a bit of a rebuild really, with the likes of Mario Mandzukic retiring and joining the coaching staff. Here's Pasalic down the right hand side. Oh, a decent ball into the area, all the way along the 6-yard box. There were 2 Croatian players who couldn't make a clean connection. I think Perisic, having made that darting run from the left-hand side, was closest to doing so, and in the end the ball trickles harmlessly wide for a goal kick. That was a teasing delivery into the box.
No, it was, but it was too easy for Croatia. They played all the way out from the goalkeeper. Lovren into Juranovic, who was able to run. He gets out to Pasalic, and then you're right, it was a really good cross right in behind the Brazilian defence, and in came Perisic. Couldn't get the contact. Militao probably just does enough, just gets his arm across, takes a bit of a whack.
Yeah,
he does take a bit of a whack.
Referee just delaying play restarting as Militao was stamping his foot, trying to get rid of the pain. We'll keep an eye on that. But I think we've seen from these early exchanges that this is not going to be plain sailing for Brazil, certainly not compared to that easy win against South Korea in the last round. And Militao has just been dispossessed on the edge of the area. Perisic trying to put the cross in, it's blocked behind, and Croatia, who started this game in really industrious fashion, have a corner.
Yeah, excellent from even Perisic on that side. Alisson, loose ball to Militao, who's still stamping his foot with a little bit of pain, but Perisic, they're very physical, this Croatian side, and Perisic just shrugged Militao aside, little step over, and what a corner.
The corner will be whipped in by that very gifted right foot of Luka Modric from the left-hand side. Lovren and Guardiola forward from the back. Modric towards the near post, not his best delivery, and it's headed away by the blonde-haired Richarlison. Everybody in Canary Yellow camped back inside their own half though, and Croatia keeping possession well. Kovacic trying to play it into the box, but it was too far in front of of Andre Kramaric, the former Leicester striker, and collected by Alisson, who bowls it out. Modric has won it back on the edge of the box, and he quickly comes forward on the attack. Cross towards the far post, headed across his own box by Militao. Brazil are under pressure here. It's just about kept in play by Neymar, and then the sliding challenge from Marcelo Brozovic concedes a Brazilian throw.
It was lazy play from Brazil. They played their way out, but without any urgency or crispness to the passing. It was Alisson who played it out, and it was Casemiro who got caught on the ball by the counter press of Modric, who just sneaked in on his blind side, and then lovely little jinking play from the Croatian captain, and then just stood the cross up. No one there though, no one there to attack it. That's the only issue, Croatia. That number 9, that forward player to put these opportunities away. Kramaric on the edge of the box.
Yeah, they don't have a Davor Suker or even a Mandzukic, do they? It is probably the weakest part of this Croatian team. Certainly their supporters, their coach, Zlatko Dalic down below us, will be absolutely delighted with the first 16 minutes on TalkSport. Still 0-0. Croatia at the moment have been the dominant force. Brazil have so much talent, so much stardust out there that they can change that in an instant. Casemiro with a little flick ball towards the area, sailing harmlessly over the head of Borna Sousa and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just keep my eye on Neymar. He's very animated out there. He's talking to Casemiro and to Danilo, and just he's not happy with what's going on at the moment with Brazil. He wants it to be moved quicker. He wants players to be running off the ball. It's looked a little bit sticky so far.
0-0 with 16 played. Ball from Livakovic, played up to the halfway line. Kramaric can't make it stick. And it's picked up now by Marquinhos forward towards the halfway line for Brazil. In some ways, Dean Ashton, the fact they had such an easy evening against South Korea might not suit Brazil in terms of their preparations for this game. The early intensity that maybe they've needed hasn't been there.
And they gave away a lot of opportunities actually to South Korea in terms of crossing opportunities and attempts on goal. So Alisson actually made some fantastic saves against South Korea, so maybe you're right, but they've started poorly so far in this game. Croatia have been excellent.
It's not just the World Cup that we are covering this busy time of year, historically of course, with the festive season fast approaching. Tomorrow the Championship returns. We've got a midday kick-off over on TalkSport 2, the Lancashire derby between Blackburn and Preston. That's followed at 3 o'clock by Sheffield United, Huddersfield, an all Yorkshire affair. And of course we've got the 2 World Cup quarter-finals live on TalkSport as well. England against France, 7 o'clock over in Albait. Ball played forward by Gvardiol towards the centre circle. Militao just making sure he gets there ahead of Perisic over on the far side and keeping the ball in play. Now Casemiro, the Manchester United midfielder, floats the ball out to this left-hand side of Vinicius Junior. Pass with the outside of the foot, headed away by Gvardiol. Now Richarlison hunting up against Sosa, who did well, concedes a throw.
Yeah, defensively, once Brazil do get the ball, Croatia 4-5-1 of a block.
A bit more intensity in the last couple of minutes from Brazil, but Richarlison easily dispossessed by Kovacic inside the Croatian penalty area, and Modric with an opportunity to run here all the way into the centre circle. He's got Pasalic providing the out ball down the right hand side. The fullback Juranovic is well forward as well. In fact, everybody bar the Croatian goalkeeper inside the Brazil half of the field. Here's Kovacic on the edge of the penalty area. He urged to get a shot away, he did so, it was blocked, and the ball bouncing around now just inside the Croatian half away to our left, and Gvardiol plays it back to his keeper.
Well, you can't pretend when you're out of possession, and that's the problem at the moment. Brazil, they're pretending. It's too easy, they're too good, Croatia. They've got really technically gifted players. They're just playing through Brazil when they want to, and that is an issue for Brazil, because Modric and Kovacic are getting on the ball too often, with too much space, and they'll start to hurt you.
Kovacic this time trying to float it out to the left-hand side, but too close to Militao. He prods it forward to Lucas Paquetá, the West Ham midfielder. Not seen too much of him on the ball so far this evening, and now Casemiro will slowly make his way into the centre circle. Slowly, the operative word when it comes to Brazil at the moment. Here's Militao though, over on that far right touchline, finding Rafinha, the former Leeds man. Croatia again, well camped. Everybody back in position. Here's Neymar. Forward it goes to Vinicius Junior, down by the left corner flag. He's got Richarlison in the centre. Neymar has peeled to the edge of the area. Still Vinicius Junior in possession. Gets it back from Richarlison, gets the shot away, blocked by Guardiola, and then hoisted clear. That was really neat interplay from the Brazilians. And here's Neymar now, looking to twist and turn away from Modric into the area, shoots right-footed, comfortably collected by Livakovic, the goalkeeper.
Well, that's the problem. You can be in a really good defensive shape, but 1v1, Juranovic cannot cope with Vinicius. He just skipped past him. Lovely 1-2 with Richarlison, who just used himself as a board to play off. And then it was brilliant once again from that man Guardiola. He's been outstanding in this World Cup so far. A great block.
He is surely destined for bigger things. Here's Neymar trying to play it through for Vinicius Junior down the left. I think Neymar feels that he should have taken that under his spell. The youngster disagrees, and in the end it's collected by Livakovic, the keeper, all in green.
Yeah, and again, Neymar's causing Croatia some issues. He's playing right in the half space between the centre-back and the midfield player, Brozovic, just to the right of him. And they don't know whether Juranovic isn't going to go out because he's got Vinicius out there, so he's free most of the time, Neymar, and they keep trying to find him in that space, and then he's linking with Vinicius.
What they're good at, Croatia, is staying in games. I mentioned the fact that a lot of their knockout matches in big tournaments tend to go to extra time. They've lost only one of their last 20 games in all competitions since a round of 16 defeat in the last European Championships. They are a tough nut to crack, and you can see already midway through the first half, Dean Ashton, this is shaping up to be a really fascinating evening.
Yeah, real tactical battle, but also with the edge that you just know some of those Brazilian players have got that extra little bit of skill and pace to just open the game up if they get the ball.
Livakovic with the long punt upfield. It was flicked on by Pasalic. He got there ahead of Thiago Silva with a header. And that's interesting because of the 32 teams that entered this World Cup, Brazil are ranked 31st in terms of aerial duels won. I know you think that stat's a little bit misleading because you don't actually feel like they've had to contest many aerial balls.
No, exactly. Well, exactly. And
they lost that one.
You were desperate to use that even last night, so glad you have. But it just shows that they need to be tested. I just think this Brazil side really do need to be tested.
Good looking ball by Paquetá into the area, only half away, brought down by Richarlison, and then the follow-up effort. Casemiro, of all people, took a big deflection, could have gone anywhere. Luckily for Croatia, fizzes behind for the first Brazilian corner of the evening.
Oh, he does that sometimes though, Richarlison. He just shows a glimpse of real quality. A little takedown with the left foot, just a gorgeous little touch into his path to then be able to lay it off for Casemiro, who didn't actually catch it very well, so he's lucky to have gained a corner.
That corner will be taken by Rafinha. Plenty of yellow shirts forward. Met at the near post by Marquinhos, but only succeeded in nodding the ball away from goal. And then Paquetá has upended Luka Modric, so it's a free kick for Croatia. Modric, 37 years of age, more than 160 caps for his country. And as we heard from our Croatian journalist before the game, regarded by many as their best ever footballer. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah, he's an absolute genius.
Here's Lovren over the halfway line. He once called himself the best defender in the world, Dejan Lovren. Certainly not short of self-confidence. Croatia haven't been short of confidence in these first 24 minutes either. They believe, and you sense it from speaking to Croatian journalists and people around the camp before the game, that This Brazil team are beatable. Here's Kovacic trying to release Juranovic down the right-hand side. Did he stay onside? Oh, and then that was a really high foot by Danilo. As Juranovic stooped to nod the ball past him, it's going to be a yellow card from Michael Oliver. And that was a crunching challenge from the Juventus fullback.
Well, Juranovic did really well to keep it in on the far side. He just cushioned the header to himself, and then it was there just at head height. He didn't stoop too low, but Danilo came across. I think he's fortunate he didn't really catch Juranovic. It's more of just a graze rather than a full contact. That's probably the reason it's yellow card.
Danilo wasn't one of the players out there tonight, booking away from missing the semi-finals. Yellow cards reset themselves after this evening, but if you have been booked before tonight and you get booked again, then that will be a one-match ban. Here's Luka Modric, stood over the free kick. That's usually a very worrying sight for opposition defenders. The ball is no more than 7 yards outside the penalty area, probably a similar distance to the byline. And again, the likes of Lovren and Guardiola will be hoping to get on the end of this. Every Brazilian player back inside their own box. It's nodded clear by Casemiro. And then there was a coming together involving Neymar and Brozovic, and the free kick goes Brazil's way.
I mean, it's been a great start from Croatia. Zlatko Dalic will be delighted. He keeps just giving Lovren information. I'm sure it'll be about that danger that Neymar and Vinicius have shown so far. Other than that, they've been the better side, Croatia, for me.
I'm told he's quite an open coach, Zlatko Dalic, in terms of listening to advice from members of his backroom team. So they're a united camp, Croatia. It's been a big part of their success in recent years, reaching the final of the last World Cup, going deep into the Nations League as well, as Dean Ashton has already mentioned. And with 27 minutes played here, 0-0, they look a very cohesive unit, a very well organised unit, as you would expect. And Luka Modric, they have a player who, with one pass, one ball through the eye of a needle, can cause significant damage. Here's Vinicius Junior, same can be said of him, although he's given the ball away cheaply there. To Pasalic back doing his defensive work. Now the ball will be cleared upfield by Juranovic, but he opts for the short ball. It's run back by Danilo. A scrap involving Pasalic and the ex-Manchester City man, but Croatia trying to play their way up to the halfway line. Marquinhos is in a very advanced position, the centre-back, and he wins it well. Now it will be Thiago Silva to come sauntering forward. Marquinhos over the halfway line. Neymar's got a bit of space, having dropped deep into midfield. He's dragged Dejan Lovren out of position. It's well run back by Kovacic, and here's Modric now for Croatia. Plays it out to the right-hand side, and Pasalic almost turned into trouble, and he takes a run at Danilo, who slides and just pokes the ball out for a Croatian throw right in front of the Croatian dugout down below here at the Education City Stadium.
Yeah, it's like a Venus flytrap of a midfield that Croatia have got at the moment. You enter that midfield as a Brazilian and you are getting swallowed. It is brilliantly organised, but that's a loose pass.
Yeah, given away by Brozovic. You can't afford to do that inside your own half. Brazil want a free kick, they've got one. An opportunity for Croatia to regroup. There's a strong challenge on Rafinha, and the referee Michael Oliver, their experience, is surrounded by the yellow shirts. There's a couple of times we saw it from Modric, and now we've seen it from Brozovic, that Croatia have played a risky pass well inside their own half and immediately set Brazil on the attack.
Yeah, they've got to be careful of that, because they could pay the price, but I just think they've got to be brave. They've got to try and play through Brazil, and I think if they do, it will open things up for them.
Reminder, once we're finished here, the Netherlands against Argentina. Ian Danta and Stuart Pearce, England legend, will be calling the action there. As Neymar clips the ball right-footed into the area. Casemiro tries to play it along the 6-yard line. It's cleared by Guardiola again. Croatia at the moment camped inside their own half. It's played out towards Rafinha. Can't get the ball back at the moment, Croatia. Paquetá with the opportunity to come forward, plays it back towards the centre circle. Rafinha dropped deep, It's Paquetá again. Danilo well forward from full-back, and the cross in towards Casemiro. He flicked it on, but didn't make clean contact. It should be cleared now by Josip Juranovic, the Celtic full-back. In fact, he's bursting towards the halfway line, a real acceleration of speed from Juranovic, and he's still going deep inside Brazilian territory. That's a lovely ball out to the left-hand side as well. Perisic with a chance to come forward, and he gets a shot away from the edge of the box, and he lashes it high over the crossbar and into that cluster of yellow shirts behind the goal. But what pace there from Josip Juranovic down this near side, Dean, actually.
Oh, he's been excellent. He's almost said to Vinicius Junior, do you know what? Are you going to follow me if I go forwards? And Vinicius has pretty much said no, and he's left Danilo all on his own. It's been too easy. It was a great ball into Modric. Modric is so good at that. Just gets it on the half turn on his back foot and instantly just plays a cushion pass out to Juranovic when they're away. And then Ivan Perisic, he'd be disappointed. Really good movement to get it onto his right foot and a shooting opportunity, and then just blazed it about 30 yards over the bar.
Such a wonderful technician, Perisic, as Tottenham fans have seen already during his short career in North London. Neymar has been dragged unceremoniously to the ground, and it's going to be a yellow card for Croatia. The free kick is taken quickly, maybe too quickly for Michael Oliver. They might have to reset here. It was Brozovic with a heavy challenge, wrestling Neymar to the floor.
Yeah, he does that to you. Neymar, he can do it to anybody. If you get too close, he just, bit of skill, through your legs, round the other side of you, and he's away. Brozovic just thought, nope, not having it. Let me have your collar. And just dragged him down.
Well, he won't be the only Croatian player who wants to swap shirts with Neymar, but I suggest doing it 32 minutes into the game probably isn't the right time. It's one booking apiece, 0-0 on the scoreboard. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Qatar. As our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage continues. Guardiola imperiously comes forward for Croatia. He's continued his run into the Brazilian half. Luka Modric feels he was fouled over on the far touchline. In fact, it was Borna Souza who goes down. I think Michael Oliver has agreed that was a bit too strong a challenge from Paquetá. It's a free kick taken short over on that far side.
Yeah, again, just showing their physicality. Croatia, seen lots of little off the ball shoulder barges into the Brazilian players, making them feel uncomfortable. It's all part of the game plan.
Modric forward, finds Juranovic on this right hand side, a deep delivery again. Perisic has made a good run into the area. It's clawed away by Alisson, who had to leap high into the air to guide that ball clear, and then it's launched forward towards the halfway line by Marquinhos, but Richarlison can't hold it up. Croatia coming forward again. 12 and a half minutes the first half to play. Modric on the edge of the centre circle, arrows a pass into the feet of Pasalic, and now Juranovic again asked to take over down this right hand side. Immediately picks out Modric, and here's Pasalic down by the right corner flag. Modric turns beautifully away from Neymar. The Croatian fans inside the Education City Stadium enjoyed that piece of fancy footwork. One legend of the game outwitting another, but Brazil have it back only temporarily with Richarlison, because Sosa was alert to the danger, and they've played it back now to Livakovic, the goalkeeper, deep inside his own half. That was neat, wasn't it, from Modric?
Oh, you heard a little roar from the crowd, everyone appreciated it. He just sucked a Brazilian player into him and just received it on that back foot of his, and then a radar-like pass. He's playing, everyone's playing in Modric's world.
Well, you called it as we were sat in the media centre before the game. You said Luka Modric is going to do something special tonight.
Well, he's that type of player that can just grab a game and dictate it.
I think Croatia will be delighted with the way their evening has gone so far. Here's Kovacic of Chelsea into the centre circle. Modric dropping deep.
I actually think they'll probably think, is this it? Is this all we're up against? Because at the moment they have looked comfortable. I know they had just the odd little moment, but other than that, they're gaining in confidence and they're actually playing their way through Brazil quite easily. That press that Brazil have is they're acting.
The last two World Cup knockout round defeats have both been at the hands of France, Croatia in the semi-finals of France 98 when they had that wonderful team, Prozinecki at the heart of it, and of course in the final 4 years ago when Mbappe was simply scintillating. Let's hope he's not in that kind of mood when England take on France tomorrow. That game live on TalkSport at 7 o'clock. Still goalless here at the Education City Stadium. Cubers and Croft mentioned before kick-off that it wasn't completely full, but there aren't that many empty seats now.
It's not the atmosphere that I definitely saw at Lusail.
On ball forward by Brazil, aimed in towards Richarlison, and defensive work to be done here, and it's volley clear by Juranovic, taking no chances inside his own 6-yard box. He's out for a throw.
I mean, there's a smaller patch of Brazilian fans behind that goal to our right-hand side than I remember at Lusail. And looking around the stadium, there just isn't the influx of Brazilian shirts and the noise that I expected, or that I've certainly heard from the Argentinian fans and the Moroccan fans.
I was going to say, in terms of the South American sides, this is very much Messi's World Cup, isn't it? Whenever Argentina are in action, there are Lionel Messi jerseys as far as the eye can see. And certainly when I was amongst the Argentine supporters for their group win over Mexico, that was the best atmosphere that I've experienced. I know it was similar for you as Morocco beat Spain.
I thought it was a bit much you wearing yours.
Here's Juranovic down the right-hand side. Modric has been caught from behind by Paquetá. It will be a free kick for Croatia, well inside their own territory. And we're hearing Nottingham Forest extremely frustrated with the Senegalese FA over their treatment of Cheku Kouyaté. The midfielder now facing an extended period out of action with a torn hamstring, could be out for up to 2 months. Was always the problem, wasn't it, with this World Cup mid-season, that players would pick up injuries that would have a real ramification for their club sides.
Yeah, it was always going to be an issue, but players get injured. I don't think it's necessarily been any more so because of the World Cup coming up in the schedule, but obviously in the middle of a season it's always going to hurt teams.
Brazil have lost 2 players, haven't they? Alex Telles and Gabriel Jesus, the Arsenal forward, who is facing a few months out as well. A big blow for their Premier League title hope. That's a lovely ball by Pasalic, steered out to the left-hand side, and Sosa. I think you're right, Dean, there's not much so far from Brazil to scare this Croatian side. Here's Brozovic into the area, tried to just slide the ball forward for Kramaric, but he misjudged the weight of the pass. It's behind for a goal kick. I think Brazil have been really disappointing so far.
They have, but also, Croatia haven't had a shot on target yet, which again is disappointing considering they've been in some good areas, but they're yet to really put anything together and test Alisson in goal. So, okay, they're doing better than Brazil, you would say, but they've not created a lot, and that is the big issue with this Croatian side.
They're all too aware, the Croatian coaching team, they don't really have a centre forward that can seriously hurt Brazil. That's why Pasalic has got the nod this evening ahead of Petkovic. They're hoping that his guile and his craft can weave some problems at the heart of that Brazilian defence. We haven't seen much of Andrej Kramaric to this point. Here's Modric poking the ball into the centre of the Brazilian half, looking for Brozovic, and it's picked up now inside the centre circle by the excellent Guardiola, arguably one of the defenders of the tournament so far. A player that Chelsea were desperate to sign last summer. Here's Vinicius Junior accelerating down the left-hand side, but again Juranovic turned on the afterburners and he sprinted away from Vinicius Junior to win it back. He's had the better, Juranovic, arguably, of that battle so far.
Yeah, he has. He just couldn't quite get hold of it, Vinicius Junior, and it just allowed Juranovic to get close to him, and he's physically stronger than him.
Here's Neymar, yet to make any real imprint on the game, yet to score from open play at this World Cup. In fact, his last 6 goals for Brazil have all been from the penalty spot, Neymar. Suffered that ankle injury in the group stage. It was doubtful at one stage that he would be fit to return so quickly, but here he is, going to guide his team into the semi-finals of the World Cup and a possible all South American meeting with Argentina, but there's a lot of football to be played here. And indeed, when Argentina take on the Netherlands live on TalkSport later, before that becomes a reality. The reality here is that Brazil, at the moment, are struggling to lay any real blow, any real punches on this Croatian back line, but it's miscontrol on the touchline that is frustrating Pasalic. He conceded to throw, and it's taken quickly by Danilo. Neymar again dropping deep into midfield. We saw that a lot against South Korea a few nights ago at the Stadium 974, made entirely of shipping containers, already being dismantled, I was told by my colleague Adrian Durham earlier today. Adrian, part of the team for that mouth-watering clash involving the Netherlands and Argentina later tonight. Here's Marquinhos into the centre circle, and Thiago Silva guides the ball side-footed out to that right touchline, where it's picked up by Rafinha. Now Casemiro. It's all very pedestrian from Brazil. They're in one pace at the moment as they look to try and find gaps in this Croatian rearguard. Neymar again nearer to the halfway line than he is to the penalty area, but he's dropped the shoulder. And he looked at one stage as if he would get away from Pasalic, but did well to win it back, Pasalic, and then Vinicius Junior goes down on the edge of the box again. It was Brozovic with a tackle, and this is going to be a free kick for Brazil in a dangerous position.
Yeah, well, they initially stopped Neymar's little burst of acceleration, and they couldn't quite get hold of it, and Vinicius was there just to pinch it away, and then just about get it away from Brozovic, who's got to be careful. On a yellow card, and goes steaming in, catches Vinicius on the thigh, and a dangerous...
too many more of those tackles, can he, on a yellow card?
No, he can't.
Dean Ashton, former West Ham and England striker, your expert summariser on TalkSport. Brazil line up this free kick right on the edge of the penalty area, right hand side. Neymar and Rafinha are the two players stood over the ball. Once again, everybody bar Alisson, the goalkeeper, is camped inside the Croatian half. We've got 3.5 minutes the first half to play. It's still 0-0. Can Brazil conjure a scoring opportunity? Neymar lining it up, right-footed over the wall, straight into the gloves of Ivakovic, who watched it all the way. It was ambitious, it was bending, but it was comfortable.
Very comfortable. Difficult from that angle. It was right on the corner of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, and it just means the angle's not there for you to beat the goalkeeper. Ivakovic just made sure his angles were spot on, and it was an easy save.
Modric coming into the penalty area and then steering the ball out to the left-hand side to Borna Sosa. He had to get that pass right, Modric, because there were Brazilian players waiting to pounce if it went astray. Here's Juranovic now, keeping it in down by the right corner flag. Lovren is going to chip it forward, asking Pasalic to run at Danilo, but Danilo got there first, then tried to hook it away from the area, ended up passing it straight back to Croatia. Brozovic finds Modric on the halfway line. 0-0 the score. Croatia pushing and probing without creating too many opportunities to get a shot at goal to this point. They had the oldest average starting 11 in a World Cup knockout match in that victory against Japan, which went all the way to extra time and penalties. Since France in 2008, you wonder if that could have a bearing as the evening wears on. Could make a couple of changes tonight, freshen things up. Zlatko Dalic as Juranovic brings the ball down the halfway line. He's got room to run into. The referee is going to stop play here because Paquetá is down, injured on the edge of the area.
Well, I don't know why Michael Oliver stopped play, to be honest. It was obvious that Paquetá was just holding his ankle. It wasn't too bad, and he's up nice and quickly, and the Croatian players are asking that question. They're on the counter-attack.
It will be a bounce ball now, and the ball returned to Croatia, but it affords Brazil the opportunity to get back in shape and get back in their defensive line. Brazil, the only nation who've competed at every single World Cup finals. It's their 22nd in a row.
Great ball.
As the ball is launched forward into the Brazilian penalty area, but again, no real confidence from Kramaric that he could bring it under his spell. The offside flag was up anyway, but it was a match, wasn't it? Kramaric against Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like he was in, to me, and then Thiago Silva still showing he's got the pace. It was very close as to whether he was offside.
I think Militao was playing him on.
Yeah, I thought he bent his run brilliantly, Kramaric, but Thiago Silva still got a bit of pace and certainly got the strength to just brush Kramaric aside.
Well, he scored a couple of goals in the group stage win against Canada. Andre Kramaric had a ill-fated stint at Leicester, now at Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. He hasn't been able to make too much of a mark so far this evening. I think Adi have outwitted Thiago Silva and the play would have come to a natural conclusion, maybe even got a shot away. Would have been very interesting to see a VAR review had the ball found its way into the back of the net. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half, just a one added minute.
And that midfield, that Croatian midfield have dominated. They've been excellent. They just keep springing into the little holes that the other one leaves. So Modric will drift away and then Kovacic will come into the space. He'll move away and Brozovic will move into the space. It's just really, really clever.
Guardiola so competent in possession. As I say that, he gives the ball away, and we'll have to get back into place now, but Brazil don't make the most of it. Picked up by Modric, and here's Juranovic over the halfway line. One last attacking opportunity for Croatia. Runners up 4 years ago before the half-time whistle. Juranovic feeds the ball into Pasalic, and again the offside flag is up against Pasalic this time as he was coming back from an offside position. That, Dean Ashton, will probably be the last meaningful action of the half.
Well, it's not gone the way I thought it would. I thought Brazil would have a lot more of the ball. Possession's very, very even, and they've been excellent, Croatia.
And there is the half-time whistle. Well, no samba dancing from Brazil so far tonight. It's been more of a slow step than a quick one from the five-time world champions. Very few goal-scoring opportunities. Croatia dominating possession, trying to pick their way through. It's an intriguing contest, and work to be done for Brazil if their quest for a sixth world title is to continue. Half-time here at the Education City Stadium. It is Croatia 0, Brazil 0. Well, the pop-up World Cup was back before kick-off. If Brazil want to get their hands on the real thing for the first time in 20 years, they are going to have to show a lot more intensity than they did in the opening 45 minutes. It is the canary yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, shooting from left to right in this second half. We get us back underway on Talk Sport. Croatia in their red and white check jerseys, white shorts and white socks. Here's Rafinha looking to slalom his way towards the penalty area, but won back well by Brozovic in midfield for Croatia. Loose ball might fall kindly for Vinicius Junior, trying to keep it in play. He can't. He's behind for a goal kick. No change in personnel. Croatia with Livakovic the goalkeeper, Juranovic, Lovren, Guardiola and Sosa in defence. Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic the midfield, with Pasalic and Perisic either side of Kramaric up front. Brazil have Alisson in goal, Militao, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Danilo in front of him. Then come Casemiro and Paquetá, with Rafinha, Neymar and Vinicius Junior in behind the star of the service, Richarlison, up front. What will have been the message, Dean Ashton, from the two coaches at half-time?
Well, I think for Dalic it'll be more of the same, but you know, can we be braver when we do have good possession to then get more players into the box? Modric, Kovacic and Brozovic, they do sit there, they don't tend to look to get in the box. I think that could be important. As for Brazil, they've got to move it quicker, they've got to be better movement. They haven't looked in behind at all, which has surprised me. You know, you've got to get Lovren and Guardiola facing their own goal at some point.
Maybe they're trying to do that here. Long pump forward out to this right-hand side, half away by Sosa, but kept in play well by the long-legged Rafinha, and he plays it into the area. Cut across the 6-yard box, and almost an own goal in there. Needed the outstretched right foot of Livakovic to clear it away. I think it was Guardiola, of all people, who turned the ball back towards his own net. That was a really instinctive save from the so far underworked Croatian keeper.
Yeah, Livakovic, brilliant. Good reactions. He wasn't expecting it from his own player.
Might be expecting it from Neymar here inside the area. Helps it out to Vinicius Junior, into Neymar. Room to turn inside the penalty area. First shot blocked. Rebound effort from Vinicius Junior. Saved again by Livakovic. Excellent goalkeeping. Should Neymar have done better with the initial effort? The flag is up on this near side. And are they asking for handball, the Brazilians? Michael Oliver just taking a moment. Dean Ashton.
Well, when it's get plays across, Richarlison just bumps into the defender, Juranovic, and does it hit his arm? That's the big question. But Neymar makes a hash of his attempt. He ends up scuffing the ball as he swivels and takes the shot. But then a mistake by Lovren. He tries to clear and doesn't quite connect properly, and Vinicius Junior then gets it saved.
Oh, it hit the arm of Juranovic. The question is, how much could he have done to move it out of the way?
You've got to take into account the fact that Richarlison bumps him in the back.
Well, there is a VAR check here.
No, it'd be ridiculous for me, this. I mean, he gets shouldered by Richarlison in the back, Juranovic.
A concerned look on the face of Juranovic, but it looks like that check is over.
I think it is a foul, is it not? I actually think it's probably going to be given as a foul.
And I think the assistant on this near side was actually flagging for the foul.
Yeah.
And after a minor scare there,
I was about to get angry then.
Croatia
that would have been
restart.
That would have been ridiculous.
But at last, more incisiveness about the Brazilian play. 0-0. But they are already playing more on the front foot than they did for much of that first half, attacking the end of the ground where very colourful and vibrant supporters are gathered behind that goal away to our right here on TalkSport. Live from the Education City Stadium in Doha. The first of 4 World Cup quarter-finals. This competition is bubbling up nicely, isn't it, for what will be a brilliant conclusion. Here's Juranovic over on the far touchline into Modric in midfield. Modric just puts his foot over the ball, slows the game down, forward to Kovacic. He plays for Croatia in a much more advanced role than he often does for Chelsea. Here's Juranovic with a cross into the box. It's blocked behind by Danilo, and Croatia have the first corner of the second half.
Well, I mean, Paquetá may as well have a school uniform on, because Modric and Kovacic are teaching him an absolute lesson on how to play in that midfield area. He's just being played around. He looks like he's not sure where he should be placing himself. They're just brilliant, those two.
I wonder if already Coach Chiche might be thinking about changes. Maybe Fred could come on into midfield. Modric for the ball into the area. Met by Lovren, kept in play by Kovacic as he tried to play it back into the area. It's cleared. Flag was up on the far side anyway. I think Kovacic had strayed into an offside position. It's going to be a free kick inside the 6-yard box for Brazil. 0-0.
Well, you'd like to think it will open up in this second half. Brazil have to, you think, be more proactive. And Croatia, again, with the confidence that they gained from the first half, you would expect to be braver. So let's hope it opens up, and as always, a goal would certainly change the whole complexion.
Croatia's only defeat in their last 11 World Cup games was against France in the final 4 years ago. They don't have a great record though against South American opponents. They've lost 4 of the last 5 against nations from that particular continent. Here's Paquetá over the halfway line, one back by Perisic, the wily campaigner, and then Modric has been manhandled to the floor by Militao, and Croatia have a free kick right on halfway.
I wonder whether a player like Bruno Guimaraes or even Fred, a bit more energy in midfield to get around the ageing legs of the Croatian team, because it's a breeze for them at the moment.
Well, Modric was taken off, wasn't he, for the final half an hour in the last round against Japan. It would be a brave move from Zlatko Dalic to do likewise. Here is Neymar. You can sense the anticipation around the stadium as he comes forward. He's collided with a Croatian defender, wants a free kick, but the ball is still in play on this far side. Rafinha, as Neymar slowly gets back to his feet, Rafinha gives it away to Sosa, the left back, and he plays it forward where it's collected by Kramaric, but can only run the ball out right in front of that giant Brazilian dugout. Neymar still haunched over. Big intake of breath every time he goes down injured, but I think he'll be okay to continue. And Brazil have it now inside the centre circle with the Paris Saint-Germain defender Marquinhos. Here's Vinicius Junior. Croatia have done a good job of keeping him quiet to this point, and again he's given the ball away cheaply. Juranovic launches it long, headed on by Kramaric, who's had to play a very lone furrow. Number 9 for Croatia. So at the moment they're struggling with the out ball. Here is Eder Militao, Real Madrid defender. Forward to Neymar, looking to play in Vinicius Junior. Again, it was intercepted by the excellent Juranovic, and plays a 1-2 with Modric, the fullback, and he bursts forward towards the penalty area. Out to the right-hand side, Juranovic has continued his run. Neat ball into Perisic. Perisic with the right-footed ball towards the far post, but it was over the head of Juranovic, and it's behind for a goal kick. That was a lovely flowing move from Croatia, and it's going to spark a substitution for Brazil. Anthony of Manchester United is being ready.
Yeah, I think Rafinha will be, surely. He's been really poor in this game, but Juranovic, actually, he's the one that's causing Brazil a lot of problems. He's obviously given licence. When he gets it, you burst forwards, because Vinicius Junior is not following him. Brozovic will fill in for you, and Juranovic is just getting forwards and causing problems on that counter-attack. And they were unfortunate, and again, just lacking that bit of quality.
We identified it in that South Korea game, so too did the Croatian coaching team. As talented as that front 4 or 5, if you include Paqueta, are, many of them don't really like doing the defensive dog work, and I think at the moment Croatia are taking good advantage of that. Anthony stripped and ready for action. The first change of the evening, 54 gone. You're listening to TalkSport live from Qatar. Alex Crook and Dean Ashton, your commentary team. First of 2 quarter-finals tonight. The Netherlands against Argentina coming up when we're finished here, and it is Croatia 0, Brazil 0. Richarlison manages to squeeze the ball forward to Neymar. Neymar with a shot at the near post. Good save again by Livakovic. The goalkeeper made himself big. First time that Neymar has really been able to get in behind the Croatian defence, and Vinicius Junior with the follow-up cross that's cleared away. Should he have done better, Neymar?
I don't know. I think actually the angle was tight in the end, and Livakovic did very, very well. He just timed it perfectly, Livakovic, in when to come out and narrow the angle against Neymar. It's the first time, though, Richarlison's just turned and swiveled away from Guardiol, and it was a lovely then pass into the left-hand side channel down the box for Neymar. Took on his left foot, he bobbled it slightly, but I think that's good goalkeeping. He's been excellent in this game so far, the Croatian number 1.
A couple of key interventions with his legs. Livakovic, here comes the change for Brazil. Anthony on the right-hand side, as Dean Ashton correctly predicted.
Yeah, Rafinha
is making his way off. Anthony signed for a princely sum of £85 million by Manchester United from Ajax. He's going to get the opportunity to try and tilt this very tight and tense quarter-final in Brazil's favour. Rafinha doesn't look enamoured by the decision, but you're right, Dean Ashley's not made any impact tonight. Here's Richarlison into the area, crosses towards the near post. It was away from Paqueta and hoisted clear by the veteran Lovren. More of the game is being played inside Croatian territory.
Well, they're starting to use the space that Croatia are allowing them, which is out wide, and a couple of clever runs now, one from Neymar and this one from Richarlison, just trying to pull the centre-backs apart and into wide areas. It's better from Brazil.
It's got the fans whipped up behind the goal as well. More pressure, more domination and possession from Brazil than we saw in a first half that was all too comfortable for Croatia. That's a good ball out by Lovren to Juranovic. What they've done really well so far in these first 56 minutes, Croatia, is beat the Brazilian press. They found it quite easy to play their way out.
Me and you would beat that press at the moment. Honestly, it's just non-existent. It's Vinicius Junior, the ball went to the centre-back and he then started to go. Well, Lovren just clipped it over the top of him to a then free Juranovic. That's not pressing.
Brazil bidding to reach their 9th World Cup semi-final. Only Germany have graced the last 4 on more occasions. They've long since packed their bags and gone home. So too have Spain. Are we going to lose another of the powerhouse nations tonight? Croatia, a team who have made it a habit of punching above their weight in recent tournaments, are doing so again by holding this star-studded Brazilian team. Modric floats the ball out to the right-hand side. Juranovic well forward again from fullback. Now Kovacic takes over. Pasalic lurking around the penalty spot. Perisic decent in the air. He's waiting for a ball to come into the far post area, the area from where he headed that brilliant equaliser against Japan in the last round, but they've gone all the way back to Modric inside the centre circle. A calmness, a composure about Croatia when they're in possession. They are not intimidated at all by the fact they're playing Brazil in a World Cup quarter-final. Far from it. Kovacic plays it out to the edge of the penalty area. Kovacic gets it back inside the box. They want a handball. It's not given. And here come Brazil on the counter. Richarlison leading the charge. He's got 3 up in support. Couldn't find Vinicius Junior. Well defended by Lovren. And Croatia will come forward again. Given away cheaply inside the centre circle though. And collected over on the left-hand side by Danilo. Winning his 49th cap. Will he get a 50th at this World Cup? At the moment that is by no means guaranteed with 59 played at 0-0. Here's Anthony trying to make the impact off the bench into Richarlison, who knocks the ball away from Guardiola, but he knocks it out of play as well. It's a goal kick for Croatia.
Yeah, heavy touch. It's feeling increasingly more likely that just the one goal would do it, wouldn't it, in this game? And you just think if you with a little bit more bravery, Croatia, could you create that chance that you need?
That was a word that Zlatko Dalic, their coach of 5 years, used in the build-up to the game. Wanted his team not to be intimidated, to impose themselves. Juranovic has definitely done that. Been really impressed with him down the right-hand side. He's coming forward over halfway again here. An air of tension amongst the Brazilian fans inside the Education City Stadium. Modric trying to play it through to Kramaric with the outside of the foot, intercepted by Thiago Silva. Now Paquetá midway inside the Brazil half to our left. Paquetá slides it out to the far side, where Danilo comes forward. Again, Croatia quickly back into shape. Only Kramaric ahead of the ball at the moment, making it very difficult for Brazil to find any space. Neymar trying to pick out the run of Vinicius Junior. Again, Lovren steps in. It's a good start to this second half, Dejan Lovren. Now Kovacic wants to pass into his feet in midfield.
Brilliant.
He works it neatly out to Modric. Then Kovacic towards the halfway line. I think Kramaric was in an offside position, so he just keeps possession with Brozovic, the road runner from Inter Milan.
No, those 3 in midfield, they're class. Honestly, it's a joy.
I sense you're loving what you're seeing from Croatia tonight.
Honestly, the 3 midfielders are just so good. They've got so much confidence in each other. They just lend it to each other. It's always on the right foot. They then move and switch into the space. Brilliant.
Here's Pasalic dropping into midfield. He's got Sosa on the overlap. Sosa lays it off first time at the feet of Kovacic. Moving the ball around sweetly here, Croatia. And Kovacic has swept it out to that right-hand side. Brought down by Kramaric into Modric. Modric with that low centre of gravity. Carries the ball all the way over to the far side, and he's been bundled over by Paquetá. They wanted a free kick, Croatia. They didn't get one. And here's Paquetá now looking to turn defence into attack, but again he's immediately closed down by this ball-hunting Croatian side, and he's forced to concede possession again. Modric, 30 yards from goal, plays the ball infield to Perisic, gave it away momentarily, but immediately won back by Kovacic again in midfield. Guardiola in the green footwear, comes over the halfway line with that Zorro-style face mask, plays it back into Kovacic. They can't get the ball, Brazil.
No, they can't, because those 3 are so good. I just wonder, I'd almost like to see Perisic play through the middle for Croatia. Just a bit more physical presence and pace as well. Kramaric, he doesn't offer a lot.
We'll see Petkovic shortly. One of the players left out tonight. Here is Perisic, low ball into the area, but too close at the near post, the goalkeeper Alisson. And the chance goes begging. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, again, get themselves into a good position. Lovely pass into that left channel for Perisic. Doesn't need to take the cross so early, could try and then go at Militao. Just almost gave it away, really. Back to Alisson with a poor cross.
They lost to Cameroon, Brazil, in the group stage. A rare group stage defeat. One of their first in 18 games at that stage of the competition. They swept aside South Korea in the round of 16. They are finding Croatia a really tough nut to crack this evening on TalkSport. They do have the ball on the halfway line with Thiago Silva, 38 years of age, playing his fourth World Cup and his final one. Will he go out on a high? Marquinhos back to Thiago Silva, wearing bright orange boots. And the dark skies in Doha. Paquetá forward down the right hand side, but he's asking a lot of Militao. Keeps the ball in play, crosses into the area, steered away from the edge of the 6-yard box by Dejan Lovren. Another Brazilian change. Coach wasting no time here. Rodrigo is coming on to replace Vinicius Junior, who's had a disappointing night.
Yeah, I think that says everything about his performance, and Juranovic as well. Vinicius Junior is being taken off for Rodrigo.
Rodrigo seen as a wild card option by many when the squad was announced, but also seen as a future superstar. Maybe has the opportunity to underline why in the final stages of this game.
And another bleach blonde head for you to contend with, Crook.
Can't have too many of them, can you?
Not in my eye, no.
They're all going for the Dean Ashton look from your FA Cup final days.
Of course they are.
You were a fashion setter even then. Here's Militao into the centre circle. Goalless on TalkSport with 65 minutes of this tense opening quarter-final play. And here is Rodrigo, playing the ball to his fellow bleach blonde-haired Neymar. And Neymar's been swept over by Brozovic. And that probably is a last warning, isn't it, for Marcelo Brozovic, having been booked early in the first half.
Well, Brozovic thought he was off then. He was just about to turn and walk towards the tunnel. Michael Oliver went to reach for his pocket. He actually then pulled out the spray instead. I think Brozovic thought he might have been gone.
Well, it was cynical, wasn't it? And had he not have already been booked, I think that would have been a yellow card.
Yeah, I agree.
You wonder now if Zlatko Dalic might have to sacrifice Brozovic and break up that midfield trio for his own protection. 66 gone, free kick hammered into the wall. To say that was ambitious is an understatement from Casemiro, who's probably 40 yards out.
Didn't know he had that in the locker.
Well, he hasn't. Looking at how it didn't come off for him. They are looking more threatening now, though, Brazil. Rodrigo on the edge of the area, having just come on in towards Paquetá. Croatia have made a mess of dealing with it, and Paquetá tries to lift it over the goalkeeper. And Livakovic again made himself big and made the save. Paquetá, can't believe he hasn't scored.
No, but he makes a really clever run, Paquetá, into the box, in alongside Richarlison. They get lucky with a ricochet off Guardiol. Into the path of Paquetá, bouncing ball. He just tried to lift it over the goalkeeper and couldn't.
Neymar with a corner, headed across the 6-yard box, but volleyed away by Mario Pasalic. Suddenly, Croatia are creaking. Shot fizzed in from the edge of the box. Loops up off a Croatian boot, could have gone anywhere. It's cleared by Brozovic. Claims he was fouled there by Rodrigo, but Michael Oliver wasn't facing the right way, so play continues. And a little step over from Rodrigo into the feet of Neymar. He's already looked lively since coming on. The Real Madrid youngster over on that left-hand side. For the moment, Brazil attacking down the right with Antony, trying to get the better of Borna Sosa. Those dancing feet that we've seen so often at Old Trafford already. And here now is Marquinhos well forward from the back. Rodrigo cutting in from that left-hand side. Twists one way and then the other. Juranovic having to work doubly hard to keep him quiet over on that far touchline. And still Brazil have the ball with Marquinhos with 67 played. 0-0 on TalkSport. Here is Thiago Silva. He's going to chip the ball into the area in between Neymar and Danilo who come forward, and Croatia will clear it away. And he's done really well, actually, Pasalic, to carry it all the way over the halfway line, but all of a sudden they do look a bit fatigued, Croatia. Modric playing it forward into Brazilian territory. There was a foul in there. Casemiro waves an apologetic arm in the air. It will be a free kick, and it will be a yellow card as well for Casemiro.
He's trying to claim his innocence, just to say he didn't do a lot, and I'd have to agree with him. There's a little pull, but nothing major, nothing worse than what Brozovic just did down the other end. It's such a sign, isn't it? When they break Croatia, they haven't got the legs to get there, have they? That's the only thing. Modric, Kovacic, but none of them have got the legs then to go and gain the ground to counter-attack with any real threat, and that is an issue.
Again, Casemiro not one of the players coming into this game already on a yellow card, so that will be wiped out at the end of this round of matches should Brazil qualify for the semi-finals. Remember, the Netherlands against Argentina coming up later. The second of the quarter-finals, 2 more tomorrow on Talk Sport, including France against England. That's a 7 o'clock kick-off UK time, preceded by Morocco, Portugal at 3, and 2 championship games as well on Talk Sport 2. Blackburn Preston is midday kick-off. Sheffield United Huddersfield is at 3. Here is Kovacic over the halfway line and forced back into his own half as Croatia ready their first replacement. We're about to see Bruno Petkovic come on and try and inject a bit of freshness in the attack. Who will be making way, Dean Ashton?
Well, I'm sure it'll be Kramaric. Been very, very ineffective. He's not threatened, has he, at all, really, the Brazilian back line. He's worked hard, of course, but they need a threat. They're desperate for a threat.
It's going to be a double change, actually, because Nikola Vlasic, the West Ham midfielder out on loan, is also going to come on. There's a game where you feel either one goal will win it, or it could go the distance.
It's tense. I mean, the atmosphere's tense in the stadium. There's not that carnival atmosphere I felt against South Korea.
Charlison penalised for a foul, just letting his frustration get the better of him. Croatia are taking the free kick quickly. The subs still waiting to come on down below us. The Education City under the cover of darkness, the moon beaming brightly overhead, floodlights in full flight. It's another wonderful World Cup setting. Are we going to get a wonderful World Cup moment? There have been many in this competition already. We've heard it all on Talk Sport. Out to the right hand side in Juranovic. It's not having quite the same impact in the last 10 minutes or so as he has for much of the game, but Croatia still keeping the ball comfortably enough, and Brazil, Dean Ashton, still look a bit devoid of answers as to how to break them down.
No, just a bit. What a ball.
Out to the right hand side. Juranovic to the edge of the area. Kovacic with room to turn on the edge of the box, shot hammered in and blocked by Rodrigo. And Rodrigo has been dragged to the floor, so it's a free kick, and the changes can now be made, and Dean Ashton spot on as he often is. Kramaric is one of the players who is making his way off for Petkovic. Petkovic having lost his place in the starting lineup after starting against Japan in the last round. And we're going to see Nikola Vlasic as well, who scored in that shootout win against Japan, and Mario Pasalic is the second Croatian player making his way off.
Not a surprise. I mean, that's the weakest part of their team, is the right hand side and the centre forward. So why not freshen things up, give 2 of the players an opportunity, see if it can change the fortunes, create a chance, score a goal.
He's on loan at Torino, Nikola Vlasic, where he started really well, having scored 3 goals in his first 8 games over in Serie A. Anybody who's seen him in a West Ham or an Everton shirt would be surprised by that statistic. Maybe just shows the dropping quality level from the Premier League to the top flight in Italy.
Yeah, I don't think they'll disagree with you.
Here's Alisson, all in black, away to our left. Plays the ball forward to Marquinhos, out to the far touchline, and Rodrigo. Now Thiago Silva will take over. Croatia with everybody back inside their own territory, away to our right. Croatia have scored in each of their last 9 knockout matches in the World Cup. They've conceded in their last 7. Still goalless here. Rodrigo coming into the centre of the Croatian half, and here's Anthony now, looking to shift the ball onto his left foot, right hand side. He goes down theatrically. Referee says no foul. I wonder if he might come back and show a yellow card for simulation. It's given away tamely by Perisic for Croatia. And here's Neymar, edge of the penalty area, trying to take on Juranovic, who again stood tall. He's a contender for man of the match, isn't he, Josip Juranovic, the Celtic man?
Yeah, he's been excellent. Anthony so obviously wanted to come onto his left-hand side.
Rodrigo into Neymar, dropping deep again. Neymar, he's got Richarlison and Paquetá in the box. Anthony crying out for a switch to this right-hand side. In the end, the ball loops off Petkovic, who's just come on, and kindly into the arms of Livakovic, the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I mean that was a dive from Anthony.
Oh, big time. Yeah, I mean, Perisic has gone as if he's going to put his leg out, pulled it back, and then embarrassed Anthony, or he's embarrassed himself with that attempt at the dive.
15 minutes to play. Croatia 0, Brazil 0. It's Croatian voices you can hear around the Education City Stadium. Many of them decked out in Czech red and white jerseys behind the goal, away to our left. Are they sensing an opportunity for their side to produce an upset? Brazil haven't beaten European opposition, remember, in the knockout stages of the World Cup since they were crowned champions back in 2002. That is an incredible statistic, isn't it?
It is. I think naturally they were wounded as well by what happened in Brazil in that World Cup against Germany. It's taken them a while to rebuild, but this is a top squad they've got. Yes, they've got injuries, that left back area is an issue, but with the talent they've got, I've been surprised that they haven't been able to create that many chances or even look particularly threatening in this game.
Ball played forward by Thiago Silva. Richarlison can't wriggle away from Guardiola. It's another battle that is going Croatia's way. Their star centre-back against the Brazilian forward. Richarlison in such good form. 10 goals in his last 9 international appearances. 3 from just 4 shots on target at this World Cup, but he's rarely been able to get into the game tonight.
No, they haven't been able to give him the service, and again I harp on about it, but that midfield area is so important because it links the centre-backs to the forward line. That's better.
Here is Richarlison, playing the ball forward. Neymar up against the goalkeeper, and once again the goalkeeper Livakovic comes out on top, smartly off his line. Neymar tried to play it around the big green giant, and he stood tall. It's behind for a corner.
Yeah, he wants that man of the match award. He's been outstanding.
Corner to be played in by Neymar towards the near post. Again, Croatia defend it well. They haven't really got an outball at the moment. Luka Modric was never going to have the legs to get away from his marker, but he's been brought down cheaply, and it's going to be another Brazilian yellow card. Marquinhos with a challenge, Dean Ashton, that he just didn't have to make.
Well, no, because Modric was never going to run away from him, but he got tangled up with him and just basically rugby tackled him to the floor. But just going back to that opportunity, Neymar with a brilliant ball from Richarlison into his path. That's where they've got joy, down the sides of the centre-backs. And again, the goalkeeper was brilliant in closing down the angle.
Starting his position was exceptional, wasn't it?
And making sure actually that he kept his legs closed. You know, when he came out, it's very easy to come out as a goalkeeper and make yourself big, and that gap going through the legs, he just made sure there wasn't the space.
12 minutes to play. I mentioned Croatia's penchant for extra time in knockout matches at World Cups. We are tiptoeing, aren't we, towards an extra half an hour here from the Education City Stadium. Remember, the Netherlands against Argentina will follow once matters have come to a close here, and then Portugal, Morocco, France against England, both live on TalkSport tomorrow. On Sunday we have a special boot room programme, 6 o'clock UK time, live from the Adidas Hub. Andy Townsend and Darren Lewis from the Daily Mirror will be alongside me, Alex Crook, for that one, and hopefully reacting to an England win. We'll be talking about a Brazilian exit, you wonder. Still 0-0. Croatia looking very tired now. They have a free kick deep inside their own half. Neymar a little bit too keen to win the ball back, and they won't be in a hurry to take this, Dean Asher. They're just trying to catch their breath here. Croatia try and regroup and try and go for one final push at the end of normal time to get the winner.
Just be very careful, Crookie. I always thought that with Croatia. Everyone thinks it about Croatia. They look tired, and from somewhere they keep going. They keep those three just keep the ball frustrate, which they have done. Oh, good turn.
A lot of nervous Brazilian fans around the arena, all decked out in their canary yellow shirts. As Kovacic tries to release Perisic, but Brazil have it back with Neymar, who's quite a frustrated figure for much of the evening. Neymar, one of only 3 Brazilians alongside the great Pelé and the original Ronaldo watching on tonight, to have scored 3 different World Cup finals, found the net from the penalty spot in the round of 16 against South Korea. Still hasn't scored from open play, hasn't had too many chances to do so, but has been thwarted by Livakovic on a couple of occasions. Here's Modric now, racing over halfway into the feet of Petkovic, the substitute. Well won back by Richarlison. And number 9 was playing in centre midfield for Brazil, and Rodrigo's got some space to come forward to down the left-hand side. Again, Croatia well grouped, with plenty back behind the ball. Chested down neatly on this right touchline by Militao. Anthony trying to take on Sosa, gets away from the fullback. Can he get across him? Plays it through the legs of Sosa into the penalty area. They're still coming forward here. Rodrigo brings it down, left corner of the 6-yard box, cuts it back to Paquetá, and he shoots straight to the keeper.
Oh, it was good from Anthony though. He really went at Sosa, lovely bit of skill. I'm sure he was fouled on that far side as well, but it then fell to Casemiro, who's back in the play up, managed to steal in front of Modric and then clip it to the back post to Rodrigo. He eventually then tries to lay it back to Paquetá. It was a weak effort really in the end. I think he'd be better putting his foot through that. Instead he tried to place it with the side foot, and of course Livakovic was there to smother.
The Brazilian fans behind the goal react with a wall of noise, urging their team forward to book their place in the semi-finals. The 5 times World Cup winners are struggling at the moment to find a way through Croatia. 0-0, and we're into the last 10 minutes of normal time on TalkSport. As you say, it's not quite Argentinian levels in terms of the decibels, Dean Ashton, but they are making a racket now behind that goal to our right.
Yes, better. But their team's been better. The team has created more, at least in the second half. Neymar, it's been that's, you would say, had the best 2 chances.
Here's Casemiro, mud caked on the back of his yellow shirt. The all-action, combative Manchester United midfielder, so decorated at club level, but yet to get his hands on the biggest prize on the world stage, this World Cup that Brazil have craved for 2 decades since their victory in 2002. Can the class of 2022 end the long, agonising wait? At the moment, haven't really played like potential world champions, but the best sides often find a way to win even when not at their very best. Casemiro into Rodrigo, has made a difference down the left-hand side. Rodrigo running at Juranovic, coming in field into Casemiro. Ball swung in for the head of Richarlison, but he nods it over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, difficult chance beyond the penalty spot. Always difficult to then get the power in the header, if anything, to then beat a goalkeeper. Guardiola does well just to jam his shoulder against Richarlison's as he's about to head it as well, just to put him off.
Goal prevention 7 has just come up on the big television screen, hanging from the rooftop at this Education City Stadium. Big picture of Livakovic, the Croatian keeper. He was the hero in the shootout. He's been one of the heroes so far tonight, and you had to say it'd be cruel on Croatia if they were to lose the game so late on. They could even win it though, because it's a slaloming run down the right hand side from Vlasic. He's been fouled and it will be a free kick. A bit of breaking news from the England camp. Gareth Southgate, speaking ahead of that quarter-final against France live on TalkSport tomorrow, has said Raheem Sterling will be involved in some capacity, either as a starter or from the bench, Sterling having returned to the England camp today.
Good to hear.
We will be keeping you right across all of the build-up to that game as England look to book their place in the semi-final. Change here for Brazil. Richarlison making way, unable to add to his tally at this World Cup. And it's Pedro, the Flamengo forward, who is coming on his place, Dean. Can you understand that change?
He's just not been able to get into the game, has he, Richarlison? Whether that's service, I think it is more service, but he's not looked as threatening. It was a good pass for Neymar at one point. But again, you know, something has to change, you think.
He's not as quick as Richarlison, Pedro, but he is a decent finisher.
He's a bit
given an opportunity.
He's bigger, isn't he? He's taller. You know, I think if they force Croatia back and get down to the byline, clipping crosses in, maybe he might just have that extra bit of height.
Looks like Juranovic for Croatia is about to launch a long throw towards the Brazilian penalty area. Away to our left, 5 minutes to play on TalkSport before extra time. It's brought down by Vlasic, gets his shot away, but well shielded by Danilo. And then Marquinhos has played the ball into Thiago Silva, and they've taken a bit of a risk there, Brazil, when they needed to launch it upfield. They played a bit of tippy-tappy football inside their own box. In the end, the goalkeeper Alisson takes no chances and swipes it clear right-footed for a Croatian throw.
Yeah, it was good though from Croatia. They just went man for man in the press and just forced them to go back to Alisson.
Here's Sosa with the Alice man, away from Anthony, trying to make his way to the edge of the penalty area. Anthony wins it back and plays it up towards Pedro. Here comes Neymar. He's got Danilo bursting forward on the left-hand side. Rodrigo waiting in the centre for the cross. Danilo infield instead for Neymar. Neymar up against Modric, the two superstars out there. Here's Casemiro, scored 1 goal at this World Cup already, but he won't get a second there because Croatia win it back, although only temporarily. Here's Anthony now. Again, he's trying to cut into his left foot. The shot from the edge of the box is steered wide via a deflection, and I think it will be a corner. It was Militao, the fullback, who had 2 bites of the cherry. Actually, the first shot was blocked, the second one deflected behind for a corner.
Yeah, first one was blocked by the Croatian captain, Modric, coming back doing his work, and then again another block.
Brazilian fans on their feet again. Corner from Anthony, played in from the near side but didn't beat the first man. Still Croatia camped on the edge of their own penalty area.
Does your head in, doesn't it? Not beating the first, honestly, it does your head in when they can't beat the first man from a set piece.
Well, I'm not saying the Brazilian bench are expecting better, but many of the subs, and including the likes of Vinicius Junior, who's come off, are all stood on their feet on the edge of the technical area as Anthony lined up for that corner from the right-hand side, as you say, just to whack it at the first Croatian on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ronaldo looking distinctly unimpressed watching on, the Brazilian legend, from the posh seats here at Education City. And the ball is behind for a goal kick for Croatia, and they're running out of time, Brazil, to get this done in 90 minutes. They are 87 on the clock. It remains goalless.
Guardiola and Pedro, that's more of a physical battle. Problem is, Guardiola looks like he loves it. The 20-year-old has been an unbelievable player so far in this tournament.
And you can see why not just Chelsea but many of The biggest clubs in the Premier League and beyond have got him top of their list of targets. The transfer window will be swinging wide open in a few weeks' time. Not sure Guardiola is the type of transaction that happens in January, but if it does, you'll hear it first on TalkSport. And here is Guardiola, only adding to his growing reputation with a dominant performance at the heart of the Croatian defence this evening in this World Cup quarter-final. Lovren picks it up in the right-back position. You sense, Dean, that Croatia are quite happy just to run down the clock and take this game into an extra half an hour and maybe penalties.
Yeah, I mean, they'll say, bring it on, we know what it's all about, done it time and time again, let's drag you into our realm and see whether you've got the minerals, Brazil.
Kovacic trying to play it forward. Sosa was up from the back, but it's intercepted by Thiago Silva. Sosa wins it back and crosses to the edge of the penalty area. Could be an opportunity for Petkovic. Couldn't get the ball out from under his feet. Still they come forward. One goal would win it now on TalkSport, and Brazil are the team camped inside their own half. Kovacic into the centre circle of Guardiola. 0-0 the score. The ball is played out to the left hand side. Sosa did well to keep it in play after it originally scooted away from Brozovic, to his frustration. Brozovic back into the Croatian half, and Guardiola haven't done enough, Brazil, to win this game in normal time. Luka Modric with the bright blue captain's armband, the old stager, still the heartbeat of this Croatian team. What a servant he's been. Can he come up with one last big World Cup moment in the 70 seconds that remain plus stoppage time? Long ball into the area, couldn't find Perisic. Sosa with a cross, which is headed away by Thiago Silva, and then flicked clear by Neymar, and that's a nice piece of chest control by Pedro. Neymar into Rodrigo. He's got a lot of work to do here, Rodrigo, and he couldn't get past the excellent Juranovic again. Didn't dive in, stood tall and just blocked the through ball.
He's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he, Juranovic? Going both ways, you're right. Didn't dive in, just waited for support, and then he spotted a chance to stick a cobra-like leg out.
30 seconds remaining. Neymar into the area looking for Pedro. Across comes Lovren. Another warrior at the heart of this Croatian back line, and the ball is out for a Brazilian throw, taken quickly by Militao. Level with the penalty area, right hand side as we look from the media tribune here at Education City Stadium. Neymar dropping very deep, playing the ball out to the right, and Anthony again will come in onto his left foot. Cross easily headed away by Guardiola. Casemiro helps it out to the far side, and Danilo. You've got 4 added minutes to play at the end of the 90. 4 minutes for one of these two to find a winner and avoid extra time and the lottery maybe of a penalty shootout. Brazil coming on strongly. Neymar forward to Rodrigo inside the area, looked to cut it back, and there was Juranovic again, blocking the route to goal and conceding a corner.
He's been involved in everything good about Brazil though today, Neymar. He picks up some really clever positions, goes unmarked, and then a few clever passes or a turn of acceleration to open things up.
Here comes the corner from the left hand side. Better delivery this time, but a brilliant header away by Perisic. Under pressure inside the 6-yard box, and he got plenty of distance on that as well.
Yeah, he did. He's outstanding in the air, isn't he? Both boxes. Ivan Perisic.
It's likely to be his last World Cup as well. 33 years of age, the first Croatian to score at 3 separate finals. Netting with that brilliant header against Japan to help Croatia book their place in the last 8. In the second, the 4 added minutes, Casemiro is trying to play a low ball into the area, blocked by Brozovic and then swept clear by Lovren for Petkovic to try and chase and try and put Marquinhos under pressure. He was just outnumbered in the end by 3 yellow jerseys, and Brazil have it back inside the centre circle with Casemiro. Still goalless here on TalkSport. Casemiro with the punt upfield. Lovren there again for Croatia. And then Sosa dispossessed by Anthony, but dispossessed unfairly. It's a free kick in the left back position.
I've got to say, Lovren has been good, hasn't he, alongside Guardiola. The elder statesman and the youngster, they've worked really well together. They've marshalled that back line, and they've just not dived in. I think it's so important against Brazil. You don't dive into space, you don't try and win that ball, you just keep them at bay. They've done it excellently. Great touch from Modric again.
He's enjoying himself on his World Cup swan song, Luka Modric. He daren't take him off. Forward it goes to the halfway line, and Brozovic over on the right touchline, deep into stoppage time at the end of the 90. Croatia 0, Brazil 0 on TalkSport. Is there one last chance for Croatia to nick it? They haven't really asked any serious questions of Alisson. They might now though. Players wait in the centre. Right-footed cross headed away by the leaping Marquinhos. He hung in the air and got it clear, and it's brought down brilliantly by Neymar, and he's been fouled by Modric, and that's going to be at least a free kick. I thought for a moment Michael Oliver was going to his pocket. It was Rodrigo actually who was clattered.
It was, but that is the only issue with Modric. When players then run away from him, he finds it difficult, and little nutmeg from Rodrigo on.
Do you think if there was any other player than Luka Modric, he'd have got a yellow card there from Michael Oliver?
Possibly, but he's not really made a challenge. You know, Rodrigo's clever enough to have put it through his legs and then ran into him. He's not actually done anything, Modric, there. Maybe I'm under the spell too.
Protected by his reputation, I fancy. Here's Marquinhos out to the left-hand side. This will be the final chance for Brazil. Neymar dropping very deep. Paquetá turning midway inside the Croatian half, and it's played out to the right, and Antony. Many of the subs on their feet again as Antony again shifts inside on his left foot. That's a really weak effort. Straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, and that might well be that.
Yeah, it's been it's kind of summed them up really, Brazil. They have had their moments. They've never really looked like beating Livakovic. He's been excellent.
And indeed, that is the last action of normal time. Croatia, who just love to play an extra 30 minutes in the knockout rounds of the World Cup, have grinded their way to extra time once again. Brazil huffed and puffed. They were denied by some excellent goalkeeping from Dominic Livakovic, but ultimately didn't have enough quality in the 90 to get the job done. Will they do it in extra time? Will we need a penalty shootout? It's finished at the Education City Stadium. Croatia 0, Brazil 0. Well, this is the 8th time in their decorated World Cup history that Brazil have needed extra time. On each of the last 4 occasions they've needed penalties as well. Nothing to separate Croatia 12th in the FIFA rankings and the number 1 ranked side Brazil in normal time. Can one of them find a winner in this extra half an hour on TalkSport? Just looking to my left, I can see Dominic Livakovic, the goalkeeper, in prayer as the Brazilian players prepare to restart the game. Certainly there's been some divine intervention from Livakovic over the course, not just tonight, but of that penalty shootout win against Japan in the last round. Will the Croatian goalkeeper take centre stage again? We're back off and underway. Brazil with their canary yellow shirts, blue shorts and blue socks, shooting from right to left. Croatia in the red and white check jerseys, white shorts and white socks, attacking the goal to our right. No change in personnel for extra time, so Livakovic still the goalkeeper for Croatia. Juranovic has been excellent with Lovren, Guardiol and Sosa in the back four. Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic in midfield, with Vlasic and Perisic now either side of Bruno Petkovic, the lone striker. The ball is swung by Danilo out towards Antony on the right hand side, and Sosa with no option but to head it behind for a corner for Brazil. You have Alisson in goal, Militao, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Danilo, Casemiro, Paquetá, Antony, Neymar and Rodrigo behind Pedro now up front. Corner for Brazil. We've played a little over a minute of this extra half an hour. Still 0-0. A chance for Brazil to apply some early pressure. Neymar, their talismanic number 10 to deliver. Right footed towards the near post, and it's headed down at that near post by Pedro. Headed all the way across the penalty area, and then Paquetá theatrically goes to ground under a challenge down by the right corner flag. Referee tells him to get up, and it will be a throw-in for Croatia.
Well, Pedro got the initial header in, but where was the movement at the back post for Brazil? There's always goals there if you get towards the back post and it's flicked on as Paquetá, he just, as we see the monitor, the replay, it's an awkward fall for Paquetá. Brazil and West Ham fans will not want to see that. It just looks like his knee gave way slightly and extended it. Just hope he's okay. He's up on his feet and gingerly moving away.
Yeah, West Ham fans will be paying a close eye on the fitness of Pakatari. He's back out there, long throw by the right back Juranovic, trying to set Vlasic around the right hand side. He's been a bit too over enthusiastic in the challenge with Marquinhos, and Brazil have a free kick. We had extra time in that last 16 tie between Croatia and Japan, and as Morocco beat Spain, I think in both matches, Dean Ashton, neither side showed too much conviction to win the game. Just talk me through the mindset of a player when you get into this extra half an hour. How much of it is about not losing, and how much of it is about being brave and trying to win?
Well, first of all, you don't want it. No player wants extra time. No player enjoys it. I think it's long overdue that we get rid of it. But you have to go through with it, and it's about fear. It's all about fear. You don't want to make a mistake, and therefore you're ultra cautious, and hence why we see so often extra time just fizzles out and neither team wants to commit or make a mistake.
Given the type of evening that Livakovic is having, though, the Croatian goalkeeper away to our left, is there almost extra desire from Brazil to get the game won in extra time?
No, I think they'd say, well, we fancy Alisson to make a few saves in a shootout.
Did it a couple of times in domestic cup finals for Liverpool last season, or in the FA Cup final anyway. Alisson, here is Petkovic on the halfway line, dispossessed by Militao, right back for Brazil, and then Antony trying the piece of skill over on the far touchline. He was taken out of play by Sosa.
Oh, stunning.
Played it through the legs of Sosa.
He rolled his foot over the ball forwards and rolled it through Sosa's legs as he came through and got took out. Brilliant.
He's a real box of tricks, isn't he, Antony?
Class.
Here is Neymar, right in the centre of the Croatian half. 0-0 into extra time on TalkSport. We played 5 of the added 30 already. Danilo with a cross, but it was a laboured ball into the air, and that swoons harmlessly behind for a goal kick for Croatia.
That was a right back hitting a cross with his left foot playing left back. Danilo. Why bother? Just come back out, recycle it, give it to Neymar.
As an England fan, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Sounds like you are.
Who do you want to win this game?
I don't particularly. I mean, Croatia. You would have to say. You would have to say Croatia.
Certainly, that will be what the Argentinians and the Dutch players are thinking as they go through their preparation of that game. Second of the quarterfinals, live on TalkSport. Once we're finished here, Luka Modric still beavering away in midfield, plays it forward, but it's going to be won back by Brazil and Paquetá. Paquetá plays it back towards his own penalty area, Militao. Then lovely again, Antony pirouetting away from Sosa. Antony in the orange footwear makes his way towards the penalty area, plays it off to Militao, who just about got there. And Antony again in possession, finds Paquetá. Back to Casemiro on the edge of the box, urged to shoot by the Brazilian fans, but instead he rolls it into Rodrigo. Rodrigo finds Danilo, deep cross towards the far post, headed away by Sosa. Good piece of defending, and a strong play as well by Petkovic to shrug off the attentions of Thiago Silva. In the end he's dispossessed Petkovic, and Brazil have it back now with Casemiro.
Oh, he needs some help, Petkovic. There's no point standing there watching. You've defended well, yes, but you've got to go and help him.
Here's Antony. Deep cross into the area. Neymar peels away at the far post, heads it down towards Pedro. Rodrigo lurking as well. Smuggled clear as far as Neymar on the edge of the box. Paquetá looking to return the ball to his number 10, and well intercepted by Juranovic. And then Luka Modric is bundled over, and it's a free kick for Croatia.
Just up the tempo though, haven't they, Brazil? And that's what they've got to do. They've got to move the ball nice and quick. They've got to test the Croatian defence. Antony again over on that side, completely bamboozling Borna Sosa, embarrassing him in fact, with a great bit of skill again.
Croatia 0, Brazil 0. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Doha. We've played 8 minutes of extra time. Brazil are frustrated. Danilo was looking to make progress, that a free kick has gone against them just inside their own half of the field. It's taken short by Lovren to Modric. See another Brazilian sub ready to come on. Alexandro, not fit enough to start the game, but he's going to be introduced for the final 23 minutes of extra time.
This is what Croatia will want. They'll want it to just get very scrappy, free kicks, slow the game down, deny Brazil the opportunity to get up to speed. That'll really suit them, and that's where that experience comes in as well.
And the experience of winning a recent penalty shootout won't do them any harm either. Although you'd expect the standard of any Brazilian penalties to be better than what Japan had to offer in that last 16 time. We've still got 22 minutes of extra time before we get to that stage. Again, the Croatian fans making plenty of noise away to our left. Brazilian possession with Marquinhos, but no real urgency from either side to particularly force the issue, and as Dean Ashton has said, to make a mistake that could ultimately send their team home. The Croatian players have a 7 a.m. flight booked just in case they go out tonight. They will be making a hasty exit, not just from the competition but from Qatar, if that is the case. Cross into the area from Rodrigo, teasing delivery, but all the way through and behind for a goal kick. Paquetá and Pedro couldn't get on the end of it.
He's been the one though, Paquetá, with the licence to get in the box when the ball is on that side with Neymar, and at the moment Rodrigo, he is the one that tries to get in there alongside the striker, and he's not too far away, but Sosa did well to track the run.
Croatia just seem to be going through the motions at the moment. Lovren with a long ball forward, trying to turn away is Vlasic, up against Marquinhos, and he's done well to keep possession. Back towards the halfway line he goes, Vlasic. Now Modric will take over. Down the right, Vlasic has made the overlapping run. There's two Croatian players to aim at in the centre. The delivery, as it has been on numerous occasions tonight, wasn't good enough. I'm back by Kovacic, but unfairly so. It's a free kick for a foul on Paquetá midway inside the Brazilian half.
And again, even then, when they got wide, Vlasic was able to cross. Petkovic was the only player in the box. They just are not willing to gamble, are they, Croatia? They're not willing to allow one of those midfield players to go. Perisic has got to do better to get into the box.
It remains goalless in the first of the quarter-finals. Every bit as tight and tense as last 8 tie should be. Pedro dropping deep, good hold-up play into Neymar, tries to play the ball into the area with the outside of the foot. Paquetá was lurking, but it's cleared, but not very far. Anthony, right corner of the penalty area, 4 yellow shirts in the centre, but he's got 2 Croatian defenders blocking his route to goal, so he just lays it off to Militao on the edge of the box. Anthony again with a chance to run at Sosa, back towards the halfway line, and Thiago Silva well forward. Thiago Silva with a cross in the box, the acrobatic attempt from Pedro. Nowhere near as clean as Richarlison with that overhead kick and tamely into the arms of Livakovic.
No, it was a poor imitation, wasn't it, from Pedro? Got the timing wrong. The ball was too low anyway. He should really have just controlled it and either laid it off or tried to turn his defender. Tried the fancy overhead kick. Got it horribly wrong.
Here's Modric for Croatia. Just slowing the game down, keeping possession, in no real hurry to get it forward as the clock moves into the 102nd minute of the Education City Stadium. Now Vlasic for Croatia, back into the centre circle. Modric sweeps it out first time to the left-hand side. Sosa urged forward. Modric picks it up again into Kovacic, who does have that injection of pace, and he's into the penalty area. He's forced wide. It was excellent defending by his Chelsea teammate Thiago Silva. He does have that in his locker, Kovacic.
He does, doesn't he? He can slalom his way through with pace and good close control, just didn't have the end product at the end of it.
Because they show a bit of ambition, there's a danger of Croatia being left short-handed at the back. What a tackle from Dejan Lovren. Neymar, dispossessed, slaps the floor in frustration. It was uncompromising, it was brilliant from Dejan Lovren. And here come Croatia at the other end. Big opportunity, Brozovic with a shot, right-footed eye over the crossbar. Was that the chance?
Well, it should have been the chance for Petkovic. He does a wonderful bit of skill in between Militao and Casemiro, and then he cuts inside, and I think he should shoot with his right foot. He doesn't, he waits for support. Brozovic on the overlap on the right hand side, but the ball is just ahead of him. He's stretching to take the shot. A tired looking effort, wasn't it? But Petkovic,
it was a good chance.
Petkovic should have taken it himself after a bit of skill.
They haven't had many clear sights of goal, Croatia. Is this game just starting to open up in extra time? Neymar flagged offside, free kick for Croatia, and we've only got 90 seconds for the first period of the extra half an hour to play. Penalties looming large in Doha. Great for the neutral. Talk about pressure for these two. Modric thrust it forward. Perisic made a good run. Brazil with enough yellow shirts back there to clear it away, and Antony has knocked the ball around Kovacic. He's taking on Modric as well over on that far side, and in the end dispossessed by Ivan Perisic, and there's a bit of a squaring up between the two. Antony took exception there, just being told to calm down by Michael Oliver. I'm not sure that Perisic did much wrong.
Well, it's because Antony tried to nutmeg him, that's why. Perisic was sort of saying, hang on, not to me you won't.
Ever the competitor, Ivan Perisic of Tottenham. Goalless in the final minute of the first half of extra time. Rodrigo has the ball level with the 18-yard box. Back to Danilo, shoots right-footed. But it's way over the crossbar, it's way wide, it's wild from Danilo, and it's a waste.
Oh, it certainly was. Danilo cutting in from that left-back area in towards the penalty area on his right foot. There's no Roberto Carlos. That was so high and wide, it was ridiculous. Spider-Cam nearly got it.
I'm not sure there are going to be too many added minutes at the end of the first 15. We have seen actually after some big numbers posted in the group stages in particular, that in the knockout rounds the amount of stoppage time has been much more like we're used to seeing. I wonder if the television companies have had a word, and that's one of the reasons for it. FIFA having been determined to make sure the ball was in play as long as possible earlier in the tournament. Here's Antony on the right hand side, closed down quickly by Sosa, and the ball is out for a Brazilian throw. Just the one added minute at the end of this first half of extra time. Still 0-0 on TalkSport. We're well into the evening now in Qatar. The Netherlands against Argentina still to come on this first day of quarterfinals. Here's Marquinhos for Brazil. Are we going to see a winner? Neymar forward to Rodrigo. Neymar edge of the area into Paquetá. He continues his run. He's in behind Neymar. He's rounded the goalkeeper, and he fires into the roof of the net. Another Samba Stars keeping on dancing all the way to the World Cup semi-finals. Neymar with a moment of magic to send the Brazilian fans into raptures in stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time. It is Croatia 0, Brazil 1.
Oh, it's simply sensational from Neymar. It's almost as if he'd pre-written it. He knew what was going to happen before he even did it. The injection of pace and quality into this move. Croatia didn't know what to do, didn't know how to react. He plays a 1-2 with Rodrigo in the middle of the pitch. Then he sees Paquetá face him up, so he plays it into him. Another 1-2. Sosa tries to tackle him. He rides that. He takes it round the goalkeeper and into the roof of the net. That is absolutely outstanding from Neymar.
A sensational piece of quality from Neymar. The player that all these Brazilian fans wanted to see illuminate the Education City Stadium. My word, has he done that. And I tell you what, the celebrations, they were large, but they were more relief than exuberance like we saw against South Korea.
Oh, I mean, the bench, they flew out the blocks, the bench, and the substitutes down to celebrate, so they should. An absolutely brilliant goal from Neymar. Honestly, it was crafted completely by himself. He saw it the whole way through. The calmness and composure in the end, once he took it round Livakovic to just lift it into the roof of the net when the defender was sliding in along the floor, was just brilliant. It's his moment.
And it takes him level with the great Pelé as Brazil's joint record goal scorer. Croatia hearts broken at the end of the first half of extra time. You do wonder how much they've got left in their locker now. We're still playing in this first half. Juranovic with the ball into the penalty area, and it's smashed away by Anthony. And the Brazil subs are fist pumping as he made that clearance. They want the half-time whistle. They're surrounding the fourth official, and Michael Oliver does bow to their demands. The fourth official still deep in conversation with Chiche and those Brazilian subs. So an unsavoury end after a wonderful goal at the end of the first period of extra time. Brazil do lead. They are 15 minutes away for the World Cup semi-finals. Croatia 0, Brazil 1. Eder Militao and Lucas Paquetá, who played a huge role in that goal for Neymar to break the deadlock. The two Brazilian players replaced by Alexandro and Fred respectively, and fresh legs as well for Croatia, as you would expect, as they're chasing the game. Lovro Maia, who scored in the group game against Canada, is on and is replacing, I think, Kovacic, was it, who went off? So that's the change Croatia have made to try and get themselves back in it. 15 minutes for the runners-up from 4 years ago to take this game to a penalty shootout. But what a moment for Neymar. His first open play goal of the tournament. Each of his last 6 have come from the penalty spot. It was worth the wait, Dino.
Oh, it was special. Special goal. Like I said, it's almost like he read what could happen and he pictured it, and then he just created it himself.
And that mouth-watering prospect of a possible all-South American semi-final against Argentina remains very much alive, although the Netherlands will have something to say about that in the game following us here on Talk Sport. The second of the quarter-finals, England against France, and Portugal-Morocco, tomorrow's offerings. You would expect that Croatia will be the team trying to force the issue in this second period of extra time. Here's Perisic down the left-hand side, running at Danilo. Not a bad cross actually, but over the head of both Petkovic and Vlasic, waiting in the centre. And Luka Modric just unable to keep it in play. They have come from behind 3 times to advance after extra time in recent World Cups. Croatia, 3 times they did it en route to the final in 2018. That bounce back ability they need to show now. It's not been a game laced with clear-cut chances, Dean Ashton, but it's been absolutely fascinating, hasn't it? Watching these two slug it out.
Yeah, it's been intriguing, especially I think the tactical battle, and Croatia have done so well, but there is a big stat, and that is Croatia 0 attempts on target. I think that just says where they're at. I think if they had a striker, I really feel like you could have seen them go through within the 90 minutes. Actually, they're just lacking that cutting edge, aren't they? Has Modric got anything left in him to do something special himself?
Well, we've seen one number 10 light up this game already. Can Modric do likewise for Croatia? Guardiola brings it down inside the centre circle. We've already played 3 of the second 15 minutes here. Not too much has happened since the restart. Here is Modric, deep inside his own half. Plays it forward down the left-hand side to Perisic. Perisic, the opportunity to cross into the centre. Again, it's a good ball in. And again, it evaded Vlasic at the far post. That's where you need that predator. Here comes Neymar at the other end, looking to finish it off, but Guardiola got there first, and Neymar's clipped his heels. It's a free kick for Croatia. It was good defending.
He's quick as well, Guardiola. He's got a turn of pace. Not only can he read the game, but Neymar tried to run behind. Guardiola just breezed past him.
Here's Sosa down the left. Perisic has seen a lot of the ball in the second half of extra time. Modric wriggling away from Fred of Manchester United and winning his team a corner. Set pieces might be the best avenue back into the game for Croatia now.
Well, look, they've totally changed. Of course, they've conceded a goal, and all of a sudden they're higher up the pitch, and Modric is getting more involved, and Perisic is crossing.
Corner from the left. Luka Modric to swing it in. Every Brazilian player is back inside their own 18-yard box. Croatia are readying another sub. They want him on. Ante Budimir before the corner is taken. Sosa,
it's because he's
going
10,
off.
That's why.
An old school number 9 is how I describe Budimir.
Why did you look at me?
What a change this would be. Imagine if his first touch of the game is the equaliser. Modric plays the corner short to Maya. Well, they've been tempted to swing it in, I think. Plenty of yellow shirts back in defence. Modric hugging the left touchline for a moment. Brozovic had that great chance to put Croatia in front. Maya with the ball towards the far post. It's brought down by Petkovic, but again no real incisiveness about his play. And Neymar with a chance to run it clear, and they didn't really make the most of that set piece despite chucking on Budimir.
Bit silly really, wasn't it? You bring him on well over 6 feet and you take it short.
Plays his club football for Osasuna over in Spain. Budimir, he's taken up a position, the focal point of the Croatian attack. He's got a bit of Mandzukic about him, hasn't he? Stocky in build, bright yellow, bright orange boots. Modric with the ball into the area. Rodrigo there to head it clear, and Casemiro uncompromisingly volleys it clear to the halfway line. We've played all bar the final 9 minutes of extra time. Brazil lead 1-0. It's put into the area towards Budimir. He was up there and leaping, but he was climbing all over Thiago Silva, and it will be a free kick for Brazil. And Thiago Silva, Dean Ashton, in no hurry to get back to his feet.
Of course not. No, I would be doing the same if I was a Brazilian player. You now do what Croatia were doing for the first half of that extra time, which is waste time, take your time when you're getting up off the floor, just slow everything down. And I'm sure Croatia now are just looking to get it wide and get the crosses in for Budimir and Petkovic.
What have we learnt about Brazil tonight?
That they can grind a result. We heard about it as well from Dan Edwards before the game, that's one thing that's changed. Defensively they're a different side to they have been, and they can grind a result, because it's been a grind, it's not been easy.
Croatia still knocking at the door. 8 minutes to play in extra time. Brazil in front courtesy of that wonderful goal from Neymar. Brilliant team move and brilliantly finished as well. They are on the cusp of reaching their 9th World Cup semi-final. Free kick for Croatia though. Foul by Pedro inside the centre circle. Luka Modric is closed down quickly by Fred. Maligned at Manchester United often, Fred, but absolutely adored by the Brazilian fans for what he does in the national team. As Croatia come forward down their right with Maya. Lovren up over the halfway line into Guardiola, furthest man back of the outfield Croatian players. Modric out to this left hand side, and Perisic, the two old stagers looking to combine. Perisic trying to take on Anthony, who was just too nimble, too quick, and Perisic kicks the advertising hoardings in frustration as Brazil have a goal kick.
No, he just read it, Anthony. He read that right foot step over and going to the left hand side that Perisic likes so much. He read it and he was quick enough to deal with it. Perisic tried the shoulder barge at the last second, wasn't enough. Good defending from Anthony.
More movement on that Croatian bench. Is this the last throw of the dice? Brozovic replaced for the final 7 minutes, and Mislav Orsic, who scored a winner for Dinamo Zagreb against Chelsea in the Champions League early this season, is on. He's a real handful. Certainly they're showing plenty of attacking intent now, Dean Ashton, as I guess you have to when your place in the World Cup is at stake.
Yeah, you got to go for it.
Keep going back to that chance that Brozovic blazed over the crossbar. Was that the turning point in this game? Maya has conceded a corner as he dispossessed Anthony, and Anthony trying to whip up the Brazilian fans behind the goal. They don't need too much encouragement to get back on their feet. Scarves waving over their heads. They know it's not been comfortable, but they know they are oh so close now to the semi-finals.
Starting to enjoy it, aren't they? Been quiet for a lot of this game. Neymar has sent them wild.
Here's Fred, halfway inside the Croatian half. Brazil in no hurry to get the ball into the area. Anthony, with those twinkle toes, keeps possession, and then Neymar has been caught from behind. It's a Brazil free kick, and they'll just run down the clock again. 5.5 minutes to play. They lead 1-0 here on TalkSport.
You've got to try and avoid it. You've got to try and avoid giving free kicks away when you're desperate to give yourself a chance.
Free kick a long way out. Neymar, well, looked like he might take a shot at goal, but in the end plays it out to the right, and Anthony, he's given it away, but can't keep the ball, Croatia. They look out on their feet now after a marathon effort to keep Brazil at bay for so long. Neymar with the all-important goal right at the end of the first period of extra time. Despite the fact they've got 5 forwards out there, Croatia have created very few opportunities to get back in the game. Lovren is going to go long upfield, looking for Orsic, who's just come on over his head and out for a throw.
It's starting to look desperate, isn't it? Croatia, they've somehow got to try and still get it into Modric, play their way into wide areas and then look to cross. I think just going long, especially diagonally, if you're going to go long, you may as well go long into the 2 big centre forwards.
Guardiola tries to head it down. He's been robbed by Fred, and then Guardiola stretches, slides in and manages to get enough on the ball not to concede a foul. He did well, having initially been caught out. Modric deep inside his own half will play it forward, and they've got 4-on-4 here, Croatia. Orsic down the left-hand side, cutting the ball back to the edge of the penalty area, and Croatia equalise. Absolutely incredible. Bruno Petkovic may just have kept Croatia's World Cup dream alive. Brazil were caught with too many bodies forward. Orsic with the speed of thought to play the ball to the edge of the area, and Petkovic with a calm finish low into the corner to make it Croatia 1, Brazil 1, and maybe we are heading for penalties.
They switched off, Brazil. They totally switched off. How can you be 4v4 against a team that are trying to score deep into extra time? It's not good enough from the midfield players, from the forward players to not get back and try and stop Croatia. Orsic does really well down the left hand side. He sees that Petkovic is just pulled off. He then takes a swipe with his left foot. It takes a wicked deflection though off Marquinhos and out of the reach of Alisson. But do they care? No, they don't. They're the masters of it, Croatia. They're the masters of comebacks in big competitions.
Unbelievable scenes at the Education City Stadium. Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian coach, who was down on his luck a few moments ago, he is bouncing now inside the technical area. Croatia may just have earned themselves a penalty shootout to get themselves into a World Cup semi-final. Bruno Petkovic, by the way, hadn't scored for his country since September 2020.
Ridiculous. No wonder he took his shirt off and took a yellow card, Petkovic. I would do as well. Honestly, with the Croatian fans behind that goal as well. He absolutely loved it.
Bruno Petkovic in the 117th minute But what were Brazil doing with so many men caught upfield? But we said it, Dean Ashton. They did it against South Korea.
Yeah.
If you do that against Croatia, you will get punished.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So naive. Switching off, that's what it is. Your forward players in your midfield are switching off. To be 4v4, that's simply not good enough at this level.
Our TalkSport colleague Nigel Adderley is on a metro packed with Argentinian fans on their way to the game against the Netherlands. They have just erupted on that metro. And the Brazilian fans here are absolutely stunned into silence. They thought their team had done enough with that wondrous goal from Neymar, but Bruno Petkovic, via a massive deflection, as Dean has said, has got Croatia back on level terms. They do not know when they're beaten.
They don't. They're battle hardened, aren't they, these Croatian players, with the experience of Modric in there. It's been brilliant from him again, Modric, honestly.
I told you he was lively, Orsic, when he came on.
Yeah, he did well, did really well, and he just that bit of composure just to find the pass that was needed rather than just throwing it in there. He just picked out Petkovic and they got a bit of luck.
This World Cup, it just keeps on delivering drama. 30 seconds to go of extra time. Croatia 1, Brazil 1 on TalkSport. You'd fancy Croatia now. Might fancy them in extra time. Long shot from Maya, well wide. But Brazil look shell-shocked.
Yeah.
How are they going to galvanise themselves for a penalty shootout?
Exactly. All the momentum now is with Croatia. Honestly, the team spirit, led by that man Modric. You may be the Samba Kings, Brazil, but they've got John Travolta in Modric in the middle. He has been awesome, honestly, in this game. He's still doing it now. He's still trying to orchestrate. He's still trying to get a winner for his team.
2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of extra time. Here comes Anthony down the right for Brazil. Guardiola immediately comes across and dispossesses Anthony, but Anthony keeps the ball in play, and then he's tripped by Perisic. Those two have been having a bit of a running battle since Anthony came on, and Brazil will get a free kick. He's been 90 seconds to play.
He's been waiting for that, hasn't he? Ivan Perisic, just waiting for his opportunity. He's lucky not to get a yellow card, Perisic.
It's a
but
really dangerous position to concede a free kick.
Silly, really. Just got to hold him up there. He's done the hard work of Guardiola. Perisic goes rattling into the back of Anthony. We can't have more drama, can we?
Well, this will be the last chance before the shootout. Neymar places the ball down a yard in from the touchline, level with the 18-yard marker. Everybody bar Alisson has come forward. Neymar into the box, headed up but not really away, and it might come down on the far post for Casemiro with a left-footed volley, well saved by Livakovic again. That was a chance.
It was. Marquinhos, it was at the back post, who just got the header first. It dropped to Casemiro, tried the shot. Livakovic then saved down to his feet, and who was there? Gvardiol, head first into the danger to head it away.
It's been heroic from Croatia. It's been far from brilliant from Brazil. And their fans are looking really concerned. The Croatian fans, in contrast, bouncing to their own samba beat away to our left-hand side. Seconds remaining. And in fact, there is no time left. We need penalties to decide if it will be Croatia or Brazil going through to the semi-finals. A grimace across the face of Neymar. He thought he'd won it with a quite spectacular goal at the end of the first period of extra time, but Bruno Petkovic, ending a long goal drought for his country, has forced this game to a shootout. And my word, who could call it? Full time after extra time. It's Croatia 1, Brazil 1. Tension in the extreme. Only Germany and Argentina have won more penalty shootouts in World Cup history than these two nations, 3 apiece. Brazil have won their last 3, but Croatia have been down this road before this tournament, beat Japan in the last round with spot kicks, and Nikola Vlasic the West Ham player on loan at Torino. He scored the first of their penalties in that last 16 tie. He looks like he will be taking the first one. Both goalkeepers deep in conversation with Michael Oliver, the Premier League referee. Those Brazilian fans behind the goal have been through every single emotion over the course of more than 120 minutes. There might not be any fingernails left for them to bite, Dean Ashton.
It's incredible, isn't it? I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love penalty shootouts. I'm going to sit here and take it in. I love it. It's what the game is all about. The ultimate test. You, a white ball, a goalkeeper and a net.
Place in the last four of the World Cup at stake. Nikola Vlasic up against Alisson. It's going to be a right-footed effort, high into the net. No goalkeeper in the world would have saved that. A confident start to the shootout from Croatia. Nikola Vlasic makes it 1-0.
Yeah, I really like it. Really like the penalty where you hit it high and down the middle. He just struck it with true venom, right down the middle, nice and high. Brilliant penalty.
A lot of pressure on the shoulders of young Rodrigo, the first of the Brazilian takers. Brazil, whose only penalty shootout defeat at the World Cup came in Mexico 86. They lost to France in the quarter-finals. Rodrigo did make an impact after coming on for Vinicius Junior. Takes a long run up all the way to the D on the edge of the area. Livakovic, all in green, stands in his way, and he saved it! Livakovic, the hero again for Croatia.
Who is this man? Dominic Livakovic. He's got a spell on penalty takers. It was brilliant from the goalkeeper. He read it perfectly as Rodrigo came up and looked as if Rodrigo was going to whip it to the left-hand side. Instead, Livakovic read that he was going to side foot it the other way and made an easy save in the end.
Lovro Majer wears the Alice band like Luka Modric, seen by many as the heir to the Modric throne is up second for Croatia. They lead 1-0 in the shootout after that excellent save from Livakovic, and this one straight down the middle, and it's into the back of the net, and Croatia lead the shootout by 2 penalties to 0.
Yeah, so important when the other team misses that you then score the next penalty to put real pressure on Brazil. And again, it's down the middle. It's not as high, it's very, very close to Alisson's right leg. As he dives to his left, he leaves that leg hanging in the air, and it just missed Alisson's leg, but it was in.
Well, here comes the vast experience of Casemiro. 15 trophies he won at Real Madrid. He's already scored from open play at this World Cup against Switzerland. He needs to score, surely, to keep Brazilian hopes alive. And he fires it into the bottom right corner. Livakovic guessed the right way, but he just couldn't get there. Brazil on the scoreboard. They trail by 2-1.
Oh, he looks disappointed, Livakovic, because he reads it perfectly, but it's good power from Casemiro. It means the goalkeeper cannot get there. Power and direction, that will beat the goalkeeper.
Luka Modric, the man who's done so much for Croatian football, with what, if they lose this shootout, will surely be his last kick at a World Cup. The Croatian fans away to our left can barely watch. Alisson, all in black, is bouncing around on the goal line, trying to make himself as intimidating as possible. How cool is Luka Modric? He's ice cool, and he finds the bottom right hand corner, and Croatia in front by 2 again.
He's already seen too much in his Croatian career to be worried about pressure, Luka Modric. You're right, Alisson was making it difficult. He was bouncing everywhere, arms in the air. Luka Modric calmly stepped up, one last little look at Alisson as he saw him go to his left, and then calmly slotted it into the corner on the right hand side.
It's another of the Brazil subs, Pedro. No sign of Neymar in the shootout yet. Is he saving himself for that glory 5th penalty? Will they get that far? Big intake of breath from Pedro in front of the Brazil fans. Doesn't look confident, but he found the net. A little 2-step run up, Well, his face didn't exude confidence, but the way he stroked the ball in does, and he whips up those Brazilian fans. It's 3-2 Croatia.
Oh, and when it works, the little stuttering run-up and the pause just before you kick it, when it works so well, because you just send the keeper the wrong way. Once he moves, you just put it the other side. It's exactly what Pedro did, and he's tried to whip up the crowd.
Croatia 3, Brazil 2 in the shootout. Mislav Orsic, whose composure on the breakaway led to the equaliser right at the end of extra time. He scores this. They edge closer to the semi-finals, and he finds the bottom right corner. A big roar of celebration from Orsic. Alisson knew where he was going, but again it was so perfect into the bottom corner. The Brazilian goalkeeper couldn't keep it out.
Oh, under the most severest of pressures as well. Orsic finds the inside of the side netting, just shaving the post. Alisson was diving full stretch to his right and still couldn't get it. What a brilliant penalty that is.
The Marquinhos has to score to keep Brazil in the World Cup. Another experienced head. Can he find a way beyond Livakovic? No, he can't! He hits the post, and Brazil are eliminated from the 2022 World Cup. Their 20-year wait for world glory continues, and it is Croatia who are the first team to book their place in the semi-finals. The subs race on to embrace their teammates. There are journalists in the press box leaping with joy. The Brazilian players, some of them laying with faces on the turf. Another seismic shock at this World Cup of surprises, and Neymar's bid for glory is over. It is Croatia who've won the shootout by 4 penalties to 2.